yet another session of the Moonrise campaign. We're going to just get right into it. Can someone catch me up on what happened last time we played?
Ooh, I shall. Um, from my sparse notes and shattered brain. So we started off with a good old face-off between Kenna in elk form and Big Kitty Man. Big Kitty Man. Uh, After throwing some insults and some threats between each other, they decide to stand down and Kenna let the Big Kitty go on his way while Kenna sat and I like sat, relaxed, meeting after a few minutes Gwen, who tried to sneak around, but after the good old branch snap, had to reveal herself as the lycan that she is. Had a nice chit chat, and they decided to keep that between themselves. And Kenna went Mama Bird with the forest, saying, "You better clean up your mess," and she did, and Gwen did. And while they were doing that, the Morderhind, Nikolai, and Edelweiss at camp sat around, had a little bit of conversation, and really didn't do too much. There was a little bit of a conversation between Krista, who telepathically communicated with Nikolai. After a little bit, Kenna and Gwen came back. There was a little conversation there. Kenna agreed to give Nikolai the bag the next day over because it was getting dark, and Nikolai, after testing, didn't want to open the bag there because it would be too dangerous. And oh yes, there is also Nikolai gave Morderheim jump so they can do a little bit of roof exploring. Found some interesting things, maybe some things to explore in the future, and nothing after that. We ended on 3 people having some good rolls and some good dreams.
I mean, I won't say good dreams yet. You
But
know the
they are
contents.
Good.
Does anyone else have anything to add to that?
I guess I'll just add, we, sorry, the whole thing of, you better, Mama Birding was basically like, okay, so you kind of instigated this again to do all this. He's not going to take responsibility. Please take responsibility. And we learned a bit of Gwen possibly having one-time certain beliefs that are not too far off from Kenna's of paying respect to things. She's actually might try to remember what those things were, but at the moment she hasn't been able to. I just thought it was like a neat little thing.
All this sort of coalescing into a bit of a butcher shop out in front of the fort, where Gwen has been diligently working away on all the various carcasses left in the wake of the panther lichen. Because I refuse to refer to him as Big Kitty.
Yeah. Understandable.
I'm sure Nikolai is having a completely different kind of dream compared to everyone else.
Excuse me, it's called Kitty Bear?
Yeah.
Kitty Bear.
Look, Kitty. I prefer Big Kitty over Kitty Bear.
That being said, we have, at the end of the night, several individuals that set up to take various rotating shifts for watch to make sure everyone stays safe and rested during the course of this long, dark night. It resulting in, for a handful of individuals, some interesting interactions. With the way things play out, we are actually going to start off with, and if available, Gwen.
I am.
Perfect. In which case, we did some of this interaction off screen, and so we did most of the interaction off screen, and we're going to sort of work our way through the paces of it, so you can experience the narrative. The good thing is that the two other characters that also had something occur, we're going to work out as we actually play it out after this. Gwyn's was the only one that we actually got some good depth to in the meantime. So as everyone settles in, the first watch being taken by Kenna, Gwyn curls up, trying to find a comfortable place to rest the weary and aching bones of the day, mulling over everything that has transpired in this long, arduous stretch of daylight. However, the night's chill helps to take the edge from your frayed nerves, Gwyn. It's a small reprieve from the itching beneath your skin, almost so terrible that you wish you could scratch it off like so many nights before. Sleep isn't easy to come. It overtakes you with great effort. However, you feel startled in your sleep. You feel as if you've been thrown from a hill, rolling, tossing, tumbling, and spinning, your vision a blur of muted colors, before you come to an abrupt halt, landing harshly. Your gaze regards your surroundings, and you see a dense forest and thick grasses all around you. Behind you is an impossibly high hill, silhouetted by a blazing sun of gray light. A gentle breeze rustles through this world all around you, seeming to caress your cheek and draw your attention elsewhere, to that of the grasses before you. And you hear a voice. Have you forgotten your way home again, child?
I look over to where the wind has sort of pointed me towards the grass.
As your gaze settles out in the distance, the wind drawing your attention towards it, you see something moving through the grass. It's about 30 or 40 feet ahead of you.
Has it noticed me?
It doesn't. It seems to be moving away from you. So if it has, you did not notice it.
Where's the voice coming from?
It seems to be whispering in your ear, like it's right near you.
I call out to the shape in the grasses. Wait! And I start moving towards it.
Your words don't seem to stop its movement. It continues to scamper away through the dense grass, moving towards the even denser dark woods in front of you. All around you, your senses seem to be muted, which to you is a bit of a shock, given that they're so sharp normally. Sounds seemed dull. Your sense of smell has been washed out. Everything just kind of smells like one. Only the rustle of the grass seems to be the most punctuated thing that can interrupt the sound of your pounding heart in your chest.
I just warily glance around and then I start to chase it.
You begin the pursuit. As you do, you feel the wind at your back. Another whisper entering into your ears. Why do you chase now? What unknown is so important you wouldn't choose to hunt instead?
I don't see a hunt. Tell me what you want or stand aside. I keep chasing.
You watch as the creature hiding in the grasses continues its flight from you. It doesn't seem to slow down, and you don't ever seem to gain any distance on it. It appears it's about to break the grass line and vanish into the woods.
I transform into a wolf. And I pick up the pace.
Transformed, pushing through the grasses yourself, your feet padding along, everything sort of stripping free from your form as you become this bestial version of yourself. You push and you push. Finally, you feel like you're starting to gain ground. Whatever it is you're chasing seems to be getting closer. Your senses are now becoming sharper once more. And the whisper returns back to you. All I see is weakness.
And you haven't been looking. I have more to say. Hold on just a second. You haven't been looking. Why have you called me here? Just to mock me? If you did not set this here, then what have you come for?
Your quarry is getting closer. You break into the woods. You see a small figure darting in between the smudges of gray trees as you blur by them in your pursuit.
Can I make out what it is?
Make a perception check.
Hold on. 13 plus stuff. 13 plus 3, I think? Yeah, 16 total.
It appears small. Probably about the size of a medium-sized dog. In comparison,
not a squirrel.
It's not a squirrel, no.
Okay.
Bigger than that, like I said, but smaller than your wolf form.
Okay.
As you continue your pursuit, the voice gives answer. We have not called you here. Your soul cried out to us, as a wounded animal does for its kin. You have come searching, as you always are. But what is it you want to find?
I want to go back. I never wanted this. I want to go back. There's a madness that goes bone deep. And I can't shake it. Not without her.
Your quarry continues to evade you, even as you gain on it. You manage glimpses of something small, moving swiftly, more easily through the dense foliage that you are now trouncing after. The world continues to get sharper, louder, everything falling into a grim clarity as your vision begins to turn red. We are and always have been of the earth. You must find your own way back to it.
I won't stop looking. No. I promise you that. But what to do about all of this that comes between here and there?
You seem to gain, finally, on the small critter you've been chasing. Your speed is increasing. Your heart rate increases. And the lust for this hunt begins to take on a fever pitch. You watch as the creature scampers between another set of trees in the distance not too far from you. And as you pursue and emerge behind it, expecting to pounce and land upon it, you see the small shape of the forest animal vanish into a cloud of smoke. And the smoke reform into that of an ethereal silhouette of a feminine figure. Glowing blue eyes regarding you as you stand in this small clearing. As the mountain does to the howling wind, you must endure. You must survive. You must remember we are of the earth.
I must what?
Survive. Thrive, survive. Endure.
Then I haven't lost you. Thank you for this.
And in that moment, heart pounding and drumming against your ears, you snap awake back inside Fort Stenmere, with the sound of the crackling fire nearby, coated in a cold, frigid sweat that is soaked what garments you wear in the blanket that you wrapped about yourself.
Is it about time for my watch?
It is not. This happens quite early in the night. You will unfortunately have to try to find sleep once more.
I'll roll over and see what I can pull out when it comes to that. Just probably not get much, but focus on what I dreamt of while I can still remember it.
Okay. You know what? Make me a wisdom saving throw.
Well, if you say so.
I do.
I'm good at these. 7.
7. The overwhelming expression of the dream, the imprint of the emotions stick with you. The confusion, the rush, the hurt, all sticks with you. But the more and more you try to focus on it, the more and more what you saw and the words that you heard begin to fade from your memory.
As soon as I notice that I'm losing details, I immediately I grab for my journal from my pack and I start writing just feverishly.
Okay.
Every detail that I can remember, just in real sloppy shorthand.
Oh, then roll me another D100. Let's see what you can manage to actually get down.
So on high or low?
High. This is literally a percentage of how much you remember the dream.
Okay.
Ooh.
As you wish. Fuck. 10. No, wait. 20. Because I rolled a 0 on the D10, so that would be 20, right? Or is that a 0?
It's a 0.
God damn it.
Yeah, if it's a 1, 0, and then another 0, it's just a 10. Yeah, unfortunately, once you come back to consciousness and you begin recalling the dream, the haze of during your transformation in the dream takes precedent in the forefront of your mind and begins, kind of bluntly put, obliterating the better parts of that dream for you. And this is probably not too uncommon of an occurrence. for dreams that you feel like might offer you some redemption, part of you actively trying to sabotage them.
Please.
No. Don't be that guy.
If she's not getting anything from, like, after a couple of minutes, looks back at what all she's written down, if it's just gibberish and she can't really make heads or tails of it, what would I have gotten?
You basically just get the setting, which is a setting of a dream that you've had repeatedly before. The problem is that the content of the dream, which changes, you didn't get any of. So you recognize the hill that is cast over by this, bright gray sun, the forest and the high grasses, and that you remember. But that's all you got from this. And it's more frustrating because you feel that flicker of something good that you had in this dream, and you just feel like someone ground it out with the heel of a boot. And you don't know where it went, or even what it was.
She takes the page, tears it out of her journal, throws it in the fire, and starts again. Just until the adrenaline rush sort of tapers off and she actually feels like she can go to sleep again. She just sort of gets stuck in that vicious loop of triangle.
Okay. That works out. So Gwen will sort of frustratedly scribble away in her journal for a little bit before eventually finding an uncomfortable sleep once again. Later that night, after Lars's watch, as this blizzard sets in, he will go fetch Edelweiss to take their shift watching the perimeter.
All right.
Edelweiss, while you are outside, the blizzard is unrelenting. It is below freezing. There are high winds that howl and deafen you. The snow from the blizzard is so dense, even with your dark vision, you can barely see 10 feet in front of you. It is overwhelming. Something that you're not used to, and something that is just overall uncomfortable to be in. Even for the people in the party that have tolerances built up to this is still extreme. As the cold begins to sort of set into your bones, waiting for this arduous 2 hours to finish, there is a moment in this cacophony of weather that you suddenly feel like everything dampens around you. The howling winds fall to a whisper, the snow seems to get a bit brighter, and you feel a warm cloak get placed over your shoulders. And then a voice off to the left of you. So, how goes it, my little flower? How is this world treating you? And leaning against one of the crenellations of the battlements, you see a tall, lithe figure with bronze-colored skin, flowing, almost fiery red hair, long, pointed ears, hawk-like facial features, and these liquid gold-colored eyes, dressed in browns and greens, embroidered with gold and silver. And they're just sort of leaning up against this with one elbow propped up, just looking out into the blizzard like there is nothing there. You know this figure very well.
Little flower? That sounds like something. And just, you see it always kind of eyes look above and to the right, like, the name. I've nearly forgotten. And I try to grab his hand.
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
There is no fight with it. The hand is offered.
Is it warm?
It is. Incredibly so.
Edelweiss's eyes widen, and then they just pull back like, wait, how would I be sure it's you? I don't mean to, but we are doing quite a bit here. I couldn't be... Just gonna look at him expectantly.
Ah. I see you remember everything that we taught you well. You're right to suspect someone appearing such as myself here to be unusual. But that being said, if it makes you feel any better, take solace in the fact very few people on this plane know what I look like. But do not worry. I've not come here for any information. I've merely come here to check up on you. Because what kind of family would we be if I did not make sure my children were all right when I sent them someplace dangerous? So that is all I ask of you. And yes.
I want to insight check that, of course. Wait. No sheet.
Insight check.
Insight check. Was that roll? 16. Forgot to roll in publicly.
16's a good number. This individual, in all ways that you have always understood him, is speaking in such a manner that you know everything he says is truthful. There is not a hint of guile in his voice. And the stance, while relaxed, is one that is prepared to act should it be asked of him, which is something that you've always come to know. Because those from where you are from are always expected to be able to act on a moment's notice.
All right. Well, right after he says that, Edelweiss is gonna exclaim in Infernal, like, "Papa!" and just run into his arms.
And he will turn and embrace you.
They're just gonna like nuzzle, just because he's so warm and it's pretty cold.
Like a warm summer day.
Of course I'm fine. Well, it's a bit cold now, but I've seen weather like this before. Not as pleasant here, perhaps, but...
Well?
Is that what brings you here?
I am merely checking up on you. I did promise that I would. To make sure that you were well.
Wait. If you're actually here, does that mean we could just... Should I go down and get it?
You could. You most certainly could. And we could both step away. And this could be done. But if it were such a simple task, and I were capable of coming here, I certainly would have done it already.
I understand.
There is something more important to this than me just having it. There is something unfolding here amongst the compatriots you've gathered and the orb that is in your company. It is only after this has been resolved that it will be opportune for us to make a move.
I understand. Probably would injure me. I did say, but it does seem to be more active at night. I would not like to end up with my other companion.
Well, I did warn you of its dangers. Most certainly that it would most likely claim a life if handled with a little bit too much eagerness.
Yes, I don't think I could stop him from trying it out, so I decided to do as you do and try to make sure he keeps safe.
Wise. A small
Hopefully.
piece of advice. Don't allow him to take it out at night under any circumstances.
Yes. We've come to that conclusion.
Then if I might offer another piece of advice, try to figure out why that is. That is the next important step to figuring out the power of this item that is in the possession of the group.
Maybe... Do you think if he learns the name of it, we could find out who it belonged to? You've lived so long, you must perhaps recognize a name.
Most certainly. There are few names and individuals I have not met in my time. Even the true names of the title bearers themselves. When they were mortals still.
Indeed. And of course, I'm aware of the one, but I would hate to see what would happen if those people got an orb like that.
Give it some time and be patient. Do everything you can to help. Build trust. Perhaps even make friends if it is possible.
I will try. I haven't been not trying. I've just been wary. I do like this giantess. She seems quite nice. But I have yet to know too much of anyone else. I'm not good at that, as you know.
He will quirk one of his eyebrows up at you. A giantess, you say? Tell me about her.
Her name's Kenna. She wears a mask. Oh, she's around your height. She wears a mask, and she has flowing red hair, odd color eyes. She's quite attuned to fire. Her beliefs kind of remind me of stuff you've taught me and the rest of us. She also appreciates my music, but that isn't very surprising.
Interesting. I feel as if there might be an ally amongst them. When I arrived, I thought I sensed another Fey presence nearby. It would make sense that one has drawn it here.
What?
One of Mestune's people.
Of course. Yes, that tracks. Well, she wouldn't openly say anything, and I'd rather not bring anything such as that up, so...
Well, no, it is unusual. One of the older bonds left behind in this world when the two were separated. Some of the old ways thrive here still, but held by lesser peoples. Rather, fewer peoples. And with the wolf and the lamb currently away, Mestune has been sending individuals here to help deal with the dead. A sad state of affairs, but one that is necessary.
Those people they're gone now. I wonder if the unseen are still around. Probably would take great joy in knowing that. They probably already figured it out as soon as it happened.
Well,
Papa, before you leave,
yes?
the winds were quite fierce. You mind playing a song with me?
Well, of course. I do so miss our music.
Big smile. Big smile.
And, pulling a small seed from one of his pockets, he will sort of flick a wrist and it will begin growing rapidly. Wood spouting forth, being wrapped in vines until eventually a somewhat natural appearance of a viola has developed itself in his hands.
And Edelweiss, or as I mentioned last time, did have their violin by them, and we'll take it out as well.
And you will play.
And they will play.
Roll me a performance check.
I will. You know what? I can use an inspiration point to gain advantage. Correct?
You can.
I will do one because this is important to me.
That's
I
good.
didn't need it. Dirty 20.
All right. Do you want to know the number I rolled?
Perhaps.
Or is it just more fun to leave people imagining what an entity like this could roll on a performance check?
You know, you can DM me and not do anyone else. Or, you know, you can just do a narrative.
I like
Open
people.
narrative.
Open narrative.
Narrative time.
I rolled a 35.
Oh, whoa, okay then.
Which is to say,
Yep.
as these two foreign figures stand atop the battlements, the snow does not seem to fall around them anymore, as music begins to gently fill the air. It is not a somber song. It is one that is bright, cheerful, lilting. One that carries a tempo with it that would remind you of playing outside in a field during a warm summer day. And the small radius around where you are standing, Edelweiss, the snow melts away perfectly. The greenery stuck in the cracks of Stenmeyer near you begins to sprout and grow rapidly, making the moss thick and dense and lush. Distant, but not too far off, those of you inside that are sleeping, this sort of upbeat tune invades your dreams, easing you into sleep, providing you with dreams that are pleasant and active, fond memories of times that you've spent with family or friends or loved ones. And when you all come to tomorrow morning, we will roll some dice, and you guys are going to get some bonuses.
Oh boy.
Was I asleep at this point, or was I still
Yes, you were asleep at this point. Yeah, this was several
But you're
hours
having a
later.
good dream now.
Yeah, it went from terrible to not bad. You will.
Can I say,
Yeah, go for it.
I just want to say one thing. I've been waiting to roleplay with him since for so long.
It's gonna happen more if you keep rolling well like that. And as the song comes to a close, he will sort of toss the viola he grew, and it'll just sort of break apart into branches and leaves and fall apart into the snow outside the fort. And he will come up to you and embrace you once more. Warmth, comfortable. And he will adjust the cloak that he originally draped over your shoulders. Keep this. It will protect you and keep you warm. And when necessary, hide you.
Of course. Thank you.
Be safe.
Love you.
I love you too, my little flower. I will come see you again. And just as he came, he steps back and just sort of breaks apart into thousands of fireflies that sort of vanish off into the distance, and their lights blink out. The cloak he put on you stays with you. And I will send you an item card for it.
New cloak.
Okay.
Thank you.
It does not require attunement.
Noted.
It was reported yesterday morning.
All right.
And Moonrise does
Watch will continue
frequent, like they're
as the night progresses uninterrupted.
So, and
While asleep, however,
had to do with the hiding.
Kenna, like so many others,
It is not. It's on-prem.
has a visit in her sleep.
Yeah, so it's on-prem, and from what I can tell,
Kenna, are you here?
is,
I am.
Kerberos
Good.
authentication. And I found
I'm just going to use the thing I sent you as a read-in, and then we're going to kind of pick up from there.
go to my
Okay.
my appointment. But
The sharp crackle of the fire serves as a siren song to your slumber. Darkness is all around you, but the smell of sweet smoke fills your nostrils.
I don't know if that's it too.
Soon you see the gray wisps dancing all around you, small embers joining in the jovial ballad and creating a small, twisting storm of ash all around you. Stalking on the edges of your peripheral vision is a large, feline-like creature, one whose identity you're keenly aware of. Its mass seems to vanish for a moment, and before you, striding into the trails of smoke, is a young girl whose features share aspects of the cremator. Pointed black ears, sharp fangs jutting from her upper lips, and glowing, ember-like eyes. She smiles up at you. This world is broken, Sparkbearer. The wolf and the lamb have perished, and their chargers are wandering, lost in this world. We must help fix this. Help bring renewal back like it once was.
Is a visual subversion. It's like Git, more or less. And
Kenna
is
looks around and stares at the girl as she talks,
it fell under a patch.
and she kneels down to try and get as level with her as possible.
So we usually access it by command line, so we do an actual SVN command from the Unix side, but it's stored on a Windows host.
Am I to shepherd the lost flock?
Yes. Yes,
Or am I to
It's a
purify them?
SVN source W41.
We do not hold sway over this world to mend that which is broken.
Yeah, I'll take it.
We can only start anew from the ashes. Let light and life prevail like it once did.
And we're hopefully going to be retiring at when we go to our 17.
I will claim all those fallen for my queen then.
Just
Death,
right now,
disease,
our
decay.
right now.
All that is rotten will burn to provide for the new and fresh. Just how it was done before humans and other races were here to disrupt it.
This sounds exciting. I can't wait until there's more fire. More life to bring back. I'm to help you with this. And she reaches up a small hand towards yours.
Sure, yeah, I can send you that. So I did.
Kenna will like move her hand out and put it palm up.
Do you want me to throw that in an email to you guys?
All right. And her small hand finds your large one. And there is a moment of heat that sparks between the two of you.
Email I sent.
And as she pulls her hand away, it's this small globe of fire stays in yours. And now, you can make this easier. Fire, as it always has been, will reach out from you, bend to your will.
She starts
Is
like
more a part
moving
of you.
it between her fingers.
Are you familiar with the Sorcerer Phoenix Unearthed Arcana, Kyle?
Nope.
Well, they have this really cool first level feature where they can essentially choose to touch something and set it on fire. I will get the exact wording for it for you and send it to you. But versus having to cast a cantrip or anything like that, you can now more or less touch something and set something on fire. And when done through this method, if it is a body, it will send the soul from this realm to Mestune. Along with any fire-based ability in your possession, literally any fire-based ability in your possession, has a +1 bonus to hit into attack.
Thank you, Cremator, for this gift.
Mhm.
And Kenna will still stay kneeling. And I ask, are you to stay here and continue wandering the forests? Or are you returning to our queen?
I am to wander and search and find those souls which are missing. Me and many others. There are many that have become lost in the last several months. Many, many, many to be herded back, to be given purpose, lest they become lost or gobbled up by the other more evil forces that live here.
And I know the developers use it daily, and they
Yes.
tried to commit
There are many.
a new beacon to this
Only
repository,
few
and
from
and I just sent you
the natural world remain.
two instances of this error. One was
I ask,
curl
has
command to show kind of the
she sent any others that are touched like I am,
kind of authentication we're getting rejected,
that are
and then
soulbound?
SVN is just giving an alert that
You are not the only spark bearer.
the
There are
NT
many of you
challenge
around,
rejected.
doing the same sort of work as you. Do not feel alone in this endeavor. Many fight a battle such as yourself, pushing back against what humanity has made a mockery of.
AD authenticated, which I don't think
That's good to know. Makes me feel at ease. Well, for the time being, I'm to stay with this group and see what work I can get done that way. I ask, before you go, there's an item that has me perplexed. We worried. Sometimes scared, but more just frustrated. It seems to harness the power of the cold, the mountain winds. That's not tied to our queen, is it?
No, that's not right. Username password. No, that's not right. Username password. But it doesn't lock me out, so I don't know if it's been reaching Andy.
The ball, it smells of ice.
Correct.
Of the moonlight. No, it is not of
Which would have been
Mistune.
when the next user would have used them.
It is a piece of an old being. But I do not know which.
How do you mean? Like how it looked like from the Unix?
Okay. Thank you, Cremator.
Mm-hmm.
I just wasn't sure if it was a part of the Winter Court or not. But I will take care with it.
That is wise. If you are ever uncertain as to what to do with it in a time where you do not need it, ask. And something can be arranged.
Understood. Well, if there's ever anything immediate that you ask of me, I am always willing.
And in a weird, uncharacteristic manner, this small child that is representing the cremator smiles up at you very widely
But I
and then
don't think it's
hugs one of your knees.
more response on what it was doing with the certificate.
And that is why you are my favorite.
Correct.
I'm sure
Makes me
we'll be
happy
seeing
to know
more
that.
of each other.
Kenna tries to put a hand on her back. I would like that very much. It has been so lonely for so long.
Very well.
And that's I was able to access. The
Enjoy your time.
from the jump server.
Hopefully,
From
we
my
will see
laptop
each other
directly
again
from the jump
soon.
server.
And again, smiling very widely, will sort of turn and then skip off into the darkness. And somewhere along the way, a sweet but upbeat melody lures you back into a slumber. And several hours later, the morning, as dark and frigid as it is, arrives,
I know when I did.
putting you on the 13th.
I didn't.
Some
How's
good stuff,
Firewood
guys.
looking?
Some really good stuff, guys.
What was that, Al?
Thank you, Ryan. How's Firewood looking?
Firewood, it could use a topping off.
Do we have any, or would I need to go gather some?
You guys have to go gather some.
Okay. Is anybody else awake at this point?
This is the morning, so this is around the time everyone's kind of coming to.
To whoever appears most awake, and probably Nikolai as well, I inform that I'm going to go gather some firewood and I'll be right back.
Oh, okay, have fun. Ugh.
She'll just nod. And I'm gonna go out into the woods a ways before anything.
This is all, yeah,
And
this
I'm
is
just
all
gonna remember all the things that happened yesterday and all the things that I can't remember from last night and all of the dreams that followed after. I'm gonna lean against a tree and throw up.
The browser part's been working when you actually try and do a pull from the Windows side.
And then in a different, cleaner patch of snow, sort
So we
of
can
like squat down and like clean my face off and
the Unix side.
like just
Or
bury my
or
face in
from,
snow and
like,
just
it's
think
like
to
somewhere
myself,
pull the repository
it's okay, it's okay, it's okay.
Because this is just the
Just have to
storage
keep it
side.
together just a little bit longer. They don't know anything yet. And she just has to take a few quick minutes to decompress before she starts back. Or actually starts picking up firewood and then heading back.
Correct, yeah.
Okay. The morning is dark and cold. The blizzard breaking after a couple of hours. It has kicked out
Yeah, 'cause
several
you
more
set
inches
up
of snow,
ALM,
making the area a bit uncomfortable to traverse as you have to march your way through. But
yeah. So QA has the
with a
one
little bit of time and effort and some diligence, Gwen, you managed to gather
but everything's there.
an armful of firewood.
Take it back and start making breakfast.
What is everyone up to?
Yeah.
Ooh. Nikolai will like to go over to Kenna. Kenna. How awake is Kenna? She seems like a morning person.
Yeah, I was gonna say because we use the SVN application on the
Yep.
outside, like we don't like say we don't
She's one of those people that will wake up,
um,
kind of like blink a few times,
sure.
wipe her eyes, and then just sit straight up out of her bedroll. Like as soon as she sits up, she's awake. Fresh air, takes a deep breath before sitting up.
Okay. So this isn't too small. Okay.
Good
And
morning.
no one better post the Undertaker meme because it's not that much.
So we can do this no
But it wouldn't be a
wasn't
meme.
gonna.
But it
But-
would be true.
Yeah, there we go. I just realized that.
Right.
If I take out the no
mean, when you
Big
got
breath
abs
and
like
sits
that.
up.
Which we don't usually use that because the certificate isn't.
Oh.
So it'll do this.
I am going
No, ask
to
for username.
check
No, ask
the
for password.
uh
No, ask for username.
check if the ball will be
Yeah,
safe
it
to
picks up who's
grab.
logged in,
And then
and then it says unable to connect to the repository.
you said it's still dark. Roughly how light is it?
It's not light at all. You guys went to bed pretty early. It is a... Let me redo my math again real quick. Yeah, it's like 5 a.m.
Ah,
You guys don't get sunlight for another 3.5, 4 hours.
Basically, it's the time. It's around the time when we first did it, and you got messed up.
I thought we went to bed at like 9 o'clock.
we did.
Well, if you went to bed at 9
So.
and you rest for 8 hours, yeah, that tracks. It's about 5:30. 5:30.
Yeah, no, it's still going to be dark for like 3 hours.
Uh-huh.
Ugh.
So
Well,
we all wake up and it's dark and cold and there's a blizzard still going on. And I'm assuming Gwen is just like, I'm gonna go get some firewood, heads off into snowy blizzard. Kenna's still not awake yet or not up. Kenna sits up and then just like scoots the bedroll towards the fire that's going and control flames it a little bit and grabs her book. And that's when she's like got a book in her hand And Nikolai's walking over. Doop-a-doop.
And then he sort of stops, looks out the hole, realizes it's so dark, and is like, darn. My excitement got the better of me. When it becomes light, Kenna, do you mind giving me the bag? And let's have a little bit of an explore of what this orb actually is. I didn't realize it was still dark. The winter is a pain sometimes. Don't you agree?
Of course, if the sun is up and there is light, I have no problem you experimenting is the word I think you used. I have no problem with you dealing with the orb.
Yeah, that's probably correct. It's really
Perfect. And yes, experimenting would probably be the most appropriate word for what I'm trying to do. Or identifying is another one. But yes. Okay. So cold. He will go to the opposite side of the fire and sit down. And read over his journal. That will be him.
As a quick side reference, it is 22 degrees Fahrenheit right now.
Yep.
Nice and crisp.
Okay, maybe
and
actually they would have had the cloak on.
Yeah, and in addition, before I forget, Edelweiss, roll me 2d6.
Ah, I see.
Yes.
Because I did forget. Okay. Everyone in the party, you have 6 temporary hit points. And while you have these hit points, you have a +1 to all your saving throws.
Ooh.
So for the release process, yes. If we have
Some not so bardic
there's
inspiration.
a package they want to test that
So bardic inspiration.
Friday. I assume on Friday before the weekend they uploaded it.
Yes.
And then it was in Dev 1. Dev 1 was refreshed today. And then when it came to today, they hadn't pulled the repository down yet. So it's trapped in the repo. We have it stored. We can't get it out. Because we have nowhere to pull a working copy to.
Well,
Yes.
what else do you guys want to do this morning? I mean, we can fast forward until Nikolai can do something with the orb.
It's just generic stuff, so Kenna would spend probably the first bit of being awake gathering everyone's water as she walks around. You know, she would walk around to everybody and ask for their water to check and see if it's frozen or not. And water skins that are frozen, she would try to defrost.
Mm-hmm. A necessary task.
22 degrees is cold enough.
Yep. Especially for those individuals that basically just had their water skins left with their equipment, in which case they are definitely frozen.
I would like to pull Nikolai aside at some point while we're waiting, probably after I've made food for everyone.
Apparently I'm still on
A nice potato hash.
For a minute?
Well,
Yeah.
For example,
sure. I'm not really doing anything. I have to wait for the light, so yes.
Is there any place in this fort where a conversation can be had out of earshot of the others?
Several places, yes.
Okay, I'm gonna go to one of those. I don't know which quite one that might be, but I'm gonna go find one.
Depends on how far you want to go. The longhouse is well out of earshot, if that's where you want to go. Especially with the weather the way it is, it's pretty hard to hear if you go outside onto the battlements, but then it's freezing cold. Or you could go to the front of the fort on the left side where there's several doors you can close between you and that room. So, depends on where you really want to go.
That works. Just over towards the bridge where the longhouse
Okay.
is, but not out. I wrote notes about this conversation because I've been thinking about it all week. I wanted to talk to you about these last couple of days, and actually apologize. I dropped the ball on this whole bodyguarding gig. I'm not proud of the work that I've done, and I want you to know that you've got my full, undivided attention going.
Well, yeah, I will accept that. While you have provided some nice entertainment, you definitely aren't the best of the guards I have experienced, but you're not the worst, surprisingly. Yes, it's fine. You're also not the first one that's been thrown on me by members of my family. So I don't mind. The alchemic fire incident, we should try not to replicating that. That is definitely not a good look.
We already had this one out, didn't we? Dead people don't get paid.
Yes, but
She'll just like sort of pat you on the shoulder
like,
and say, just don't go fooling around with that ball if you feel like it's gonna drop you on your ass.
yes. That's why I'm checking beforehand. But yes. The apology's nice, and a lot of the time, you don't exactly get apologies from guards, or
No, but
bodyguards, or any sort of that.
No, but I take pride in my work, and I noticed that I've been lacking these last couple of days.
No, there is something that I did need to ask you, and that, so, my sister, what did she hear to hire you?
Told her about a job that I took. What was it?
Thank you.
Back east a ways? Maybe further north.
Oh.
Yeah, and she'll tell you about the job that she took, the details of which I am looking at now. I believe it was 2 ogres that she was she took a bounty on that were harassing caravans along the road as well as farmers, and she brought 2 heads back and got a nice sum of money for it. And she told Krista that story.
Yeah. This was in your duchy, by the way, Nikolai. So you would have been at least cursorily privy to the ogre problem.
Is there a way to
You know,
find that?
I
I'm also on
heard
the
that
ESPN
someone got rid of that.
box right now.
Nice to know that it was you.
So I'm not so wildly incompetent as you might consider me. Not as I've made myself appear.
I would like to note that you haven't made yourself appear wildly incompetent, or seem wildly incompetent. Everyone makes mistakes, and as we've both experienced quite a bit, especially in these last few
This
days.
is the one the connection comes into.
Whoops.
It's... He seems at a loss for words. He was like, he's opening his mouth and then closing, and it's like, thinking. It's just... it's actually nice to hear an apology. Like that. And I feel like I should issue an apology for, my sister hiring you for me. I am... If my sister's the one to get people out of trouble, I'm the one that gets people into trouble. So, sorry for that.
You're fine.
Yes.
At least it's not going to be a boring job. Listen, like I said, I'm a professional, I take pride in what I do. So apology is due where it is due. And I would like... This one really hurts for her to say, and you can tell as she's trying to say it. I would like, when Krista comes back, you to be present and for us all to have an honest discussion about my performance and the pay that was promised, and as to whether or not I still deserve it after this contract is complete.
Well, you at least deserve a chunk of it because you did defend. Not only did you defend me, but you defended other people.
Hmm.
I don't really take a note of this, but I didn't have a scratch besides ones inflicted by myself. And you're quite a capable fighter. Not many people can stare at a horde of undead and not flee from fear. So I feel like you should. Don't be so hard on yourself. I'm not going to be that hard on you. It's life's life.
Someone of your stature, I was not expecting to be so generous, but I appreciate it. Nobles tend to hardball when it comes to prices and any shortcomings that they experience. So I appreciate it. But that's all I had to say for now.
Yes. I tend to not like being like that. It doesn't feel fair to people. So and I'm sure, if anything, Krista would enjoy the situation as a bit of levity.
And if I were playing any other role in this situation, I would agree with you. Quite frankly, I find it hilarious. But it's just I'll leave it up to your discretion as to whether or not it is worthwhile to bring up to her later on.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, while I may talk to her about it, there are definitely other things that we need to talk about before then. But she has to come back for that, and she's still a while out. So.
Good to know. Good to know. In the meantime, I know I've been doing a bit to upkeep camp, as I am charged with guarding you and not the camp or resupplying it. How do you feel about that? Would you like me to continue, or would you like me to stay close? You say jump, I say how high. That's how this works.
Yeah, I'm aware. To be fair, I don't really care as long as it doesn't end up hurting me, unless it's by my choice, or hurting others unnecessarily. Whatever makes you feel comfortable or makes you feel like you're doing something, I don't really mind.
Good talk. Just
although he will say, while I may say that, Krista may not like the fact that a bodyguard is not with their charge for a few hours. That can lead to very bad things when in large cities. as he laughs, and you can see in his eyes like he knows the repercussions of a bodyguard not being with their charge.
Gwen's nodding and smiling, but she's got this vaguely pained look in her eyes.
But yes, I don't really mind. As long as you keep an eye out, everything should be good. But in bigger cities, if the exploration, I don't know, if whatever this group is doing leads us to cities, it may be a little bit better to keep within eye shot of each other.
Of course, yes. I'm aware. Sounds good. I will keep that going forward.
Oh. And can you make some more tea? It's dreadfully cold, and I hate it. I would like some tea. You make good tea.
Sure thing, boss. And she'll just sort of like clap him on the shoulder and good talk. Go back to the.
Ow.
How are you feeling, by the way?
Better. The few days helps, and the excitement is maybe not the excitement. The adrenaline carries, but in moments of rest and these longer days where nothing really happens, it definitely hurts a lot more. But
Well, you know what they say, the second day is always the worst.
whatever. Yes, definitely. And he will start making his way back.
Yeah.
It's and as he's doing that, he'll stop. Is there anything you wanted to talk about more?
All good here.
Okay, then. And he will make his way back with a small nod.
Quinn sort of lingers at that doorway for a minute and like looks out into the snow and just sort of vaguely glances, like looks back in the general direction that the town was, considers it, and then turns back and walks back into the main hall that we were all gathered in. Make some tea.
All right.
So when
Well,
we're looking on the
breakfast,
clock
tea,
side being the band Santa
beating up on Gwen. Is there anything else we'd like to do this morning?
Yes.
I just
Um,
want to say, can I
yep,
just
go
say
ahead.
real quick something? Oh, just that Edelweiss is sleeping in,
That's
or
what
at
we
least
say.
you know you can tell they woke up, but they're also just kind of chilling.
And that maybe.
Just laying
That's-
around, like being warm and
Yeah.
cozy.
Yes. Oh, you were
Awesome.
making tea, Gwen? I'll take a sip. But yes, that's why I'm not saying it.
Yep. After, I would like to do two things. One, I don't. Kenna will spend an hour more, one more hour, an hour, reading more into Bones of the Earth.
Okay.
Diligently, cautiously, as she has with all of the books. Just seeing how, just getting through a couple more pages and just absorbing all of the notes. I don't know if you want me to roll anything for that, or since it's only an hour or so, but
Yeah.
That's up to you.
Make me a flat intelligence check.
okay.
This whole call since 1 o'clock.
I landed on a 14. My intelligence is, I believe, a +2, or a
For a
plus
16?
1.
Like it would send.
No, I think your lowest stat is a +2, isn't it?
Communication.
Yeah, everything's a +2, but wisdom and charisma. Yeah, so yeah, it's a +2. So it'd be 16.
Okay.
Was that one in these rolls as well? I forgot where the ones were applied.
Saving throws.
Saving throws.
Okay, Sarah first. Thank you.
Okay. I'll make note of it. Like, I'll give you a little summation right up
Yep.
for Bones of the Earth.
Yeah, and that's
I've
fine. I know you
made
gave me
sticky
another
note.
one last time.
Mhm.
So, and I think the last time I was reading, it was like 2 or 3 hours of reading.
Yeah.
And then after that, people would notice that Kenna's up and moving. She grabs her tools, and she walks over to Mordahine. I don't know what Mordahine would have been doing for that first hour and a half of the morning, but
Let's find out.
Last scene as it's dark will probably be trying to get more sleep because, I mean, as much as he likes the comforts of being warm and being comfortable, but I think that if it was a bit noisy, that everyone was awake, he would sort of give up on that idea and he would be reading one of his strategy books that he has around. But he's specifically looking at one page, kind of endearingly, as you approach him.
so excuse me if I'm bothering you.
Yes, no problem, Kenna. What is it?
I Originally, I was going to ask if you would accompany me to digging this tunnel out, but I see that you were still relaxed and settled in to stay warm, which is understandable with your book. However, she's like, I'm gonna go start digging that tunnel out of the rubble, or digging the rubble out. I just didn't know if you would want to come with. Everyone else seems to be busy, but if you want to stay, you don't feel pressured to get up.
No, not at all. Just give me a couple of seconds to, get myself prepared for the morning. I'm a bit all over the place at the moment, and he'll sort of like get out and walk over and get some and wash his face. And once he's finished, he'll come back over to you and go, have you got any other utensils I can use? Because I don't think I have a shovel with me.
Yes, but give me 1 second. Move to somebody else, Dyer.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, we got Nikolai, we got Gwyn, and we got Edelweiss. Edelweiss is, having a lazy morning. I don't know. Anybody want to do anything else? Anything? Or we can take a bio break. That's always a popular option.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
All right, bio break it is. 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, we'll shoot for like 50-ish. 50 till or something like that.
No worries.
Hey, you're welcome. By the way.
You made Gwen cry.
Tasty. Tasty. It was so tasty.
Yeah, I knew it was gonna come out this session.
Idolice, who is definitely a spy, but I still can't prove it.
Let me tell you the message that Dyer sent me. He was like, I was like, fuck, they're on to me. And he was like, yeah.
I love how the Spalkai. Yep, the Spalkai. The spy call God was correct.
They're a spy!
Oh my god. You're a spy. Well, ... Okay.
I'm also gonna give you a bunch of juicy stuff like I did. I hope you enjoyed all of that, or as much.
God. Now I know why exactly it is that Krista does the politicking.
So glad that my roleplay went well, because I was worried about that, because I knew it could be very good. I don't want to mess it up.
Maybe.
I do want to know that modifier, though, that my patron has.
It's a billion, don't worry about it. Your dad can do whatever the fuck he wants because his modifier is a billion. Oh man. And now I'm torn. Do I sit around and be boring now and babysit Nikolai, or do I go do cool stuff with the boys? I guess I'm being paid to babysit Nikolai and have withdrawals. Here we go. Oh boy, I'm gonna have a fun morning.
You should worry that I'm gonna actually murder him and take the orb.
I should actually murder him and take... Well, I guess I should worry about other people actually murdering him and taking the orb, because so far now we've at least got 2 who might potentially just do it. I'm actually, after hearing your guys' dream, thinking that Mordehine might be the only one that I can trust. I can't, express that in character. But he might be the only one who's actually not after the orb.
Alright, I'm back. What do you mean you can't trust me?
You know what you did know. I'm kidding. You both, as far as
mine
I know,
and yours.
Yeah, you and Odd are the only people who
Wild
orb is, and so you're I would count either.
Wild spool of shit.
I would count either of you two as liable to try to take it and run because of that.
Oh,
And-
Kenna only see the thing is you can trust Kenna because she wasn't sent here for the orb. She just happened to be like, huh, this might be from my home plane.
I got a,
In which he was like, no, it's not actually.
And then she's like, oh, okay.
I've
Kenna's
got
add a character, add a game. Kenna was only curious if it had belonged at some point to the Winter Court, because if that was a yes, then she would be taking it.
yeah,
But
exactly.
I guess, yeah.
It'd probably be a Winter Court spy trying to
so the
take it
proper
then.
name on the certificate
That's
doesn't
for real.
match the destination. Does that-
But I guess the cat's out of the bag for both of us now.
But not in character.
Why?
No.
Why?
I wanted to sprinkle as much juicy stuff that I feel like. Well, honestly, I tried to do whatever the Ada Weiss would say.
Also,
Because
Diana,
I'm speaking to someone who knows everything, so.
What'd I do?
I'm gonna send you a couple quick messages.
Okay.
This isn't narrative, so it doesn't have to be open.
Either way, I am back now. I have a can of Coke and will be muted when not doing anything, but my mom is now done yelling from the porch.
Kyle! Mom,
I
I'm
didn't
trying
actually-
to play D&D!
I didn't actually know she was screaming for like a solid 30 seconds.
I heard it. I was like, what is who
Mm-hmm.
and why?
Yeah, I had no
I
idea
should-
that was happening.
We're just waiting for people
Also-
to come back.
I'm
Turkeys.
just gonna make clarification.
Oh,
I did
fuck.
notice that, like,
Henry!
some things.
Henry!
Damn it.
Is he out? Is he free?
Henry, how did you get out, buddy?
He's free.
He's free.
Machine's not
He's
gonna
free.
never update
Also,
it.
Dyer.
You're right.
Yes.
Oh, holy shit, man. It's so good. It's so good.
Imagine those were the first ones. All they do is get better.
If I can remember them.
That's what you get for rolling under a 90.
Yeah, Rip Gwen, but me and Kenna are better, actually.
Let's see.
Yeah, everyone's over here with their. Go ahead.
I was gonna say 90 and up. I tend to leave you with things.
Huh.
Yeah, I was.
Wait until
There's
you see
a-
what like a 99 or a 100 gets you.
Everyone else is over here like, oh, I have cool stuff, and I'm like, no thoughts, head empty. Don't even remember what I dreamed of. How are
I
you
give
guys?
you 6 temporary HP.
No thoughts, head empty. Traumatized by the first dream she's had of her family in years.
I got to see my dad. Hey, I made you find relief within your dreams. You should be thanking me.
Oof.
Alright,
Be glad you had trauma I could help fix.
I have returned.
Perfect. Alright, sounds like everyone's back.
You capture Henry?
In which case, we will carry on. Because no one else has anything else interesting worth doing. We're going right back to Kenna and Lars.
Wait, I have a question.
Yes.
Except, where are you going? Where are you fucking going? 442 in the evening.
They're responsible.
I can't
I'm
answer
sorry.
that. I don't.
My
Even a different zone.
my apartment complex is constantly waging psychological warfare on me by enforcing these arbitrary like grounds maintenance schedules. I want to see if I can remember
You need a can cozy.
either anything that I was trying to remember yesterday about carving a totem from the beliefs that might have been derived from the beliefs that I have myself, or if I can recall anything, or if they're doing something like that. And okay, this actually goes hand in hand. And if they're doing something like that, I can recall any of my dreams last night. If I can just sort of channel like anything trapped in my subconscious into
I mean-
like some form of creative outlet.
It's just. Are you going to start like trying to work on the carving first, or are you going to try to think about it and then do it?
I think I'm gonna like find a piece of. Get out of here with your riding lawnmower.
The fun thing is
I don't
think
hear
I'm
it.
gonna.
it seems to be walking me out, which makes me think it's not even.
It haunts my dreams. I'm gonna take like a small piece of firewood, and I'm gonna just sort of let myself go at it with a knife and just see what comes out of it.
Okay. Do you have any woodcarver's tools proficiency?
Proficiency? No.
Okay. In which case, you're trying to use this to spark a memory. Just give me a d20 roll with either intelligence or wisdom.
Okay. Which one of you fuckers can I trust?
Also another question I can answer.
D20 plus just not my saving modifier, just my modifier.
Nope. Just your modifier.
That was one of his.
Alrighty. Give me something good. Why are you like this? Natural 1 plus 3. 4.
Oh! Ow!
I feel like you don't need for me to explain to you how frustrated Gwen is that she can't remember anything, because I feel like the player is just as frustrated about the one. So just channel that. That's exactly how it feels. You're uninspired, and it seems like the past part of your life that was actually good has seemed to have been enveloped by this thick cloud of just gray fog. It's getting more and more difficult for you to remember anything about it.
Just the more I try, the less I can remember.
Come on, Henry.
Yep. Addiction is just the worst. Fun fact, this is actually how it is.
I found my phone charger.
She probably reacts a bit disproportionately, and that she just like swears. And the one thing from her past that she can remember in Elven, and just chucks the piece of wood pretty hard at the fire.
Okay.
Um,
Wood crashes into the fire. Sparks and embers kind of waft into the room, snaking away, fading out.
I could try. SVN has 2 ways to authenticate too. It has
find something. I'm sure she finds something nearby to work on. Started a lot of projects yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of projects nearby, but she's just sort of frustrated and can't sit still.
You've got a bunch of frozen carcasses for you to, keep working on.
Yeah. Hargy, can you send me a picture of Henry?
Yay!
Hey, that's what I say.
What, do we need a dog break?
Henry's a turkey.
So once we're
Turkey, dog, same thing.
I think. Absolutely not. Turkeys are mean.
Are you guys there?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought I was muted that whole time. I apologize.
So how's Henry?
Henry's a cat, and Henry's fine. It's my phone
Oh.
charger that is missing, and my phone at 6%.
Wow, Owl, you weren't even
But-
close.
I think basic
Well, neither were you.
Either way,
I was much closer.
apologize for not being muted, but what is going on?
So the options.
Gwen just had a temper tantrum because she can't remember anything.
The natural one.
Yeah. Other than that, really nothing else. So
Okay.
we were gonna go have
Gwen.
we were gonna have Kenna and Lars go start
Okay.
some excavating.
Yeah, fun times. I know at the moment I basically searched our DMs back to the wilderness tools. I believe you signed off on the tool ability, like the others in Xanathar's, about the amount of time it takes to clear a specific size of land.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is what I was going to hop on, or at least try to utilize for clearing out this rubble. But I was, as we approach this rubble, going to ask you, sir, what would Kenna see as far as rubble type? Like rocks and stone? Like what would the rubble be?
That's a great question. At a glance, you mostly see large broken stones, and a lot of things that have sort of filled in all the cracks, be it very small pebbles to just mountain dirt. It looks like, and this is the part that's obvious because there's nothing in and around this part of the fort that's been destroyed, that this looks like this was sealed off on purpose.
It looks like it was sealed off on purpose.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like there was no like the roof didn't cave in, nothing's been broken. So all of this stone, all these broken stones and dirt had to have come from somewhere.
Okay. Like maybe somebody had just dumped it here, or maybe collapsed like a wall behind there or something, somehow, some way.
Possibly. I mean, if the assumption is this is blocking off a tunnel that goes beneath the fort, it seems kind of purposeful that this is a weird place. They would just go, yeah, let's pile a bunch of rocks and dirt here.
That being the case, Kenna would look to Lars. And, to answer Lars's question from the last, Kenna would have just heft her backpack up that's got a multitude of hand tools. A replaced sledgehammer from a specific event. What's known as a pickmatic, a Pulaski fire axe, and a shovel.
They are all good utensils. I'm happy to go with that. I'll bring along Porsche in case we need to get rid of any of the smaller rocks.
Okay. Absolutely. I'm just thankful that you're out here to help, and while the others are off doing their own things.
I haven't got much to be doing, to be honest. My whole being for staying here is for the information that I'm going to be getting from Krista. So that is, I have to wait here really. So I might as well do something, otherwise I'm going to be very, very bored. Fighting the undead was a very good thing, though. I enjoyed that.
Yes, that was eventful. And she walking towards the tunnel with Lars. So I don't know how much experience you have with any of these tools, but if you want to use the pick, I can use the sledgehammer. We can try to pry and crush the stone out of the way.
Given both our stature, I think that is something that you are very good at. I shall take the shovel. I used to, my father used to, as a way to train me, used to make me shovel large piles of things. So I'm good at that. If I'm not strong, but I'm very persistent, so I can try and get rid of the smaller rubble for you.
Wonderful.
And Lars will work in tandem with whatever Kenna does. So if Kenna smashes the big rocks, he will sort of quickly shovel them away, so to speak. And he'll whistle to Portia to pick up any sort of random rock that's in the way.
Mm-hmm.
That is the first thing she will try, which is grabbing the sledgehammer and moving on over to one of the larger boulders or pieces of stone. If she inspects it, would she kind of be able to tell what type of stone this is?
It
as
looks
far
like
as knowing.
Yeah,
Go
I
ahead.
mean, it's actually not even hard for you because you're just so familiar with this sort of area. It's literally stone from the mountain that this fort's built into.
So is it just processed granite?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, interesting. I'm trying to Okay, so it doesn't look like it was like defensible stone from the outside wall or anything. It looks more like just your base construction stone.
Yep.
Okay, that's good. And she looks at it and goes, "Well, this hopefully works."
So we
And
just
brings the
do
sledgehammer down, trying to make big rock into a bunch of small rocks.
It's full of alchemist wire.
Make me a wilderness tools strength check. And with advantage because Lars is helping.
All right, so that adds the proficiency bonus, which is 2. Strength is a +2, so +4
apparently upgrade command.
at advantage.
Yep.
Okay.
I have a version here.
The first roll was an 8. Second one was an 18. So +4 is a 22.
That's great. You guys spend a bit of time working at this. You hit a good rhythm. While Lars might not be properly trained in the usage of these tools, he's smart and quick to pick up a good pattern and repetition with you. And sort of in tandem, you guys break through and move away quite a bit of the surface rocks here on top, which would have been just too unreasonable to just pick up and move. After doing it for a little bit and clearing a decent amount of this away, you find something that is perhaps unnerving. You start to see, mixed in with all of the finer dirt and rock, that there are flecks of bone.
Okay.
Unmistakably bone, by the way, because either of you could pick it up, look at the texture, look at like the interior parts of it. It's fine, broken up bone chips.
I'd like to
Okay.
think that Portia found like a more intact piece and is sniffing it and chewing it, and I'm like, take that from your mouth.
Yeah.
It's just whatever. Kind of picking up a few and looking at Mordehai's just. So, I guess that would lead to 2 easy ways of this happening. One is somebody or some people sacrifice themselves to collapse this tunnel. Or 2, people got trapped while it was collapsing.
It's very true. I feel like something. If it's. I mean, my general feeling is, there is something inside that they were escaping from, or they were trying to escape from something outside going in. But yeah, this might be something that we all need to, as a group, maybe get them involved so we could be ready for anything that might be on the other side of this hubble.
That would be a good idea.
We'll be practicing.
I'm gonna continue to try and work on some of this, and by moving the bones to the side and trying to clear as much rock as I can. If you would want to go grab them.
No problem. Yes, no worries. Lars will lay down the shovel on the side of the wall, and as he's walking away, we'll say, "Do you need anything from your equipment?"
And she takes the pause before swinging. I should be fine. Most of my gear is in my backpack right here.
No problem. And we'll walk
Thank you.
away.
Yep.
And Lars will sort of jog around towards the main hall. And as he walks in, taking a survey of what everyone's doing, making sure they're not doing something super important, will raise his well, first of all he'll go grab his rifle, open it, take it out, sling it around his shoulder, pack up, put his backpack on, and he'll tap the butt of his rifle really loudly, like almost like a stand to attention, as like making a loud noise, and he'll say, It has come to Kenna and my attention that we have decided to work on the rubble in the tunnel. We have found bone fragments in amongst the rubble trying to dig in. I feel like maybe something is inside, and I feel like all of us need to be ready and willing to deal with whatever happens going inside. Is everyone, if you want 5 minutes to prepare, please do. If you don't want to, that's fine, but Kenna requests it.
Gwen,
Well,
go ahead.
at least for me, I heard you banging away, so nice to know that there may be something more out there. I may not be able to help with my strength, but from what it sounds like, you're destroying stuff. I can aid in that.
Maybe looking at the bones, you are very intelligent, so we could probably use that.
Yes, maybe. There's
Because the Windows
There's
machine
quite
should have.
a slew that we could learn, but he will get up from the table after finishing his tea. I might as well come and see what I can do.
Gwen, advice?
Right.
When Nikolai starts to get up, Gwen just follows suit. She closes her journal that she's been swearing at softly for the last 30 minutes, and then stands up and just sort of starts to follow him.
If Lars notices this, he'll say, "Go take your frustrations out on the rubble. It'll help."
Maybe.
I will get ready and be there soon if you find anything.
Okay, no problem. We'll meet you around there. And he'll do a little tiny salute and head back round towards Kenna.
Okay. Before long, Kenna, you hear the concerted footsteps of several of your partners heading in your direction.
Okay.
I
would like to note that by herself, she would have put down the sledgehammer, grabbed the pickmatic at a 5-pound pickmatic, and going and trying to basically break up or pick into the largest rocks and pry them away instead of smashing them all.
Okay.
So she's trying to shift around the larger rocks to the sides instead of breaking everything and totally moving it out of the way, just because she's alone.
Yep. Perfectly reasonable course of action. It will be productive. Kind of appropriately, add a kind of a narrative, a high, if you will.
my token over there.
As I don't even know where you went.
Outside.
Okay, we will take it
Oh,
away and do our
it was
updates.
here.
As Nikolai, Gwen, and Lars kind of arrive with Edelweiss trailing up, as you sort of dig this pick into the behind one of the larger rocks to pry it away, it sort of tumbles and rolls off in a bit of a clatter, and underneath is a half broken skull, adding more to this
Whether it does or not.
unusual scene of this pulverized skeleton that you're starting to dig pieces out of.
Can I try to identify? Very good.
She gets the pick free and the boulder moved to the side. Sees them come around.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I guess I didn't need to leave.
I see you can see these bones as well.
Is that from the same skeleton?
I don't know. I'd assume so. It's this, maybe.
Mind if I take a look at it?
Go ahead. She stands to the side and starts pulling away with her foot, just pushing rubble out of the way and grabbing her tools.
Gwen steps forward, and I would like to examine the skull. Is it any part of the front of the skull, or is it just like the
It's like the top part of the cranium down to the side where the eye socket is, and just a bit of the cheekbone.
Okay. I would like to try to like examine it and some of the other larger bone fragments and see if I can get like any sort of beat on what race this person was.
Nature check.
Nature or medicine?
Nature check.
Okay.
Medicine would help if this person were still alive.
What? You mean
Very
this isn't? You mean Bones isn't nature? The show. Bones the show. Or is it medicine?
Bones?
Bones the show.
Knowing, having the wisdom to know how to set broken bones, medicine.
Okay, cool.
Trying to figure out what they belong to is book smarts about nature.
Nature is what I'm rolling. I hate this. 12.
Okay.
I can't roll for all these dice are going away. They're not doing anything for me.
You cannot confirm if all of these bone fragments belong to the same skeleton, but looking at the piece of skull that you have, you can at least narrow it down that the entity that it's come from has a larger than average skeletal structure, or at least a more denser than average skeletal structure, so it could belong to a handful of races at the top of your head, of which are Doreen, aka Furbolgs, Goliath, or Dwarf.
She will announce that to the group. Could be a couple of different kinds of races. Some of which would be endemic to the area. Sense. There's maybe not so much.
Was
Can
go on.
discern how long it's been here?
Can I?
You could. Funnily enough, that one's a medicine check.
I
That's
could
what medicine
also, with that question being asked, ignoring the skeleton, Ken is going to pay attention to the stones on the walls and the rubble itself to see if it might have been more recent or like an older collapse.
Sure.
Man, I
Just
should have
by-
been rolling with this dice.
Yeah, just by like scarring on the actual stones or softness and weakness.
Yep.
Medicine, you said?
Medicine, and an insight check from Kenna.
Okay.
22.
Hey, you
Because
did it.
I finally found a better dice.
Insight.
Okay, Laura.
It's my lucky red dice.
What is my insight +2?
Should be at least a +3.
Oh,
Unless
yeah.
you are
let me-
proficient.
I'm just double checking it right now.
Me too.
Skills. Insight +3.
+3.
Oh, because it's wisdom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That was intelligence for a weird reason. So 15, 16, 18.
18. All right, you both did pretty well. And by pretty well, I mean you both did really well. Kind of looking at the sort of stonework in and around the fortress, and just sort of thinking about what the stonework in the fortress has looked like in general, based off of how old you understand this place to be and the sort of traffic you've seen in different parts of the fort. This collapse looks like it's quite old in comparison to some of the more traveled areas, where people have clearly come in to use it as storage or places to shelter. You could tell where a lot of the there's been quite a lot of growth in between some of the stone tile work on the floor, where that's been worn away in certain areas. Whereas in this area, the things that are growing in between the rocks and based off of the sort of wear that you'd expect, this has been sitting here for a very long time in comparison.
Okay.
Gwen, it's hard to nail an exact time because this isn't really a science. Not that just inspecting a bone can tell you. But you have a bit of a sixth sense for understanding bones. We're not going to get into how werewolves and bones connect, but you get that this is a couple centuries old.
Looks like it's been here for a while. Maybe a couple 100 years.
That would make sense. Well, if
You have
anyone
plan?
has any reservations, I guess speak up now, or let's clear this tunnel.
Yep.
And
When
Kenna
it-
will.
when it-
Go ahead. Go ahead.
As he's just going to say to Kenna, when it comes to maybe smashing some of the larger rocks into more easily controllable smaller bits, I can help with that. Maybe not with my strength, but you've seen what I can do, at least a little bit.
This would be a meeting. So would he be
Of course.
If you'd like some help.
Sure. How many people
Likewise.
can we fit? I'll say this. How many people would be able to fit shoulder about an arm width apart working on the stones at one time? Is
I
it
would
two?
say you could do 2. 3 you could even push for, but if you get any significantly lower rolls, there might be some awkward, you smash someone's
Well.
foot with a sledgehammer shenanigans.
That's why you never swing tools while you're in someone's blood circle. and so basically, I guess that really wouldn't work for Kenna. Someone's blood circle is putting the tool in their hand with their arm outstretched. If they can hit you within that circle, you can't work within that distance of them. But Kenna's so big that kind of doesn't matter.
Just don't miss.
So I guess 2 of us.
At least for me, I can do things at range. So
Yeah.
that
And if, and if you trust me with any of your tools, I can run the whole hand the old-fashioned way.
She Kenna looks at Gwen and kind of smirks. Well, I'll let you try the pick, but you don't get to take the second sledgehammer.
Fair enough.
So the idea.
Shit even ran on.
The idea, Ken will be like, all right, so what we can do to try and make this work, she'll hand tools. Pick, Matic goes to Gwen, shovel goes to Lars. There's not enough room. Edelweiss, if you see anything start to slip or sketchy happen, call it out. And then Nikolai, you can sit there and look pretty, or you can use your powers.
Alright,
So
John,
Kenna's,
let's
I
go.
will use my
Yeah.
powers.
so Kenna's be like, great. You'll separate the rocks and roll them out one at a time. I'll smash them. Lars can shovel them.
Fair enough.
Well-oiled machine.
Okay.
Yeah.
And given there are so many of you, yeah, they exist. Given there are so many of you, you guys can either take, one of you can take a single roll with advantage, or each of you can roll something different. Given that some of you would have different proficiencies for this particular task at hand.
Let's everybody roll something different.
That's more exciting. I like that.
Oh yeah.
I know, right?
Yeah. Kenna knows. Kenna, you know yours. Your tools
do my
check.
tool.
Yep. With strength.
With strength, okay.
Yep. Gwen and Lars. Gwen, athletics check with strength. Lars, you're going to do an athletics check, but with dexterity, because you're not really doing like heavy lifting. You're kind of trying to get in and out and get stuff out of the way without them, smacking you. And Nikolai, this is a more fun one. Athletics check, but with intelligence,
Oh.
because you're using your mind.
Can I ask if Edelweiss could roll to actually perceive danger?
Sure.
Because it's
I mean, yeah,
sorry,
it is my roll.
the real life Kyle is kicking in, because that's a huge problem.
All right. Yeah. So fine. We got ourselves a bona fide skill challenge.
There we go.
I have a question.
I'm listening.
When it comes to athletics with strength. If I'm already proficient in it, is it just straight athletics, or is it?
It's an athletics check.
Okay, so 18.
Okay.
So Gwen for pickaxing rolls that. Nat 20.
Oof.
Oh, damn.
Which would be wilderness at plus 24.
Cool story.
Get him.
Lars,
I rolled 11, but I don't know what I'm adding on to that.
are you proficient with athletics?
I am. Am I a proficient? Yes, I am.
Okay, and what's your dexterity score? Or your modifier?
My dexterity modifier is 3.
Okay, so you will
So
add a
plus
plus 5.
So that would be 16.
16? Alright, we're looking pretty good. Edelweiss, perception check.
I'm great at these.
The dust. It's just dusty in here.
Well, it's fine. You guys had one critical success and one critical failure, so they cancel each other out, and everyone else succeeded.
I mean, that perception check was the least important. At least, not important for you doing things. It's important for the danger. So you got your thing done. Whether it's danger.
Yeah, so you guys begin working in tandem and pick up a rhythm that you would expect out of a group of, well-seasoned miners, breaking apart larger rocks, hefting and prying rocks out of the way. Lars sort of sweeping in, taking shovelfuls and moving them to a different side. Nikolai basically using his psionic abilities to sweep out handfuls of rubble where necessary, lifting up stones up and over the heads of those working. And you guys begin clearing away this rubble. The more you clear out the rubble, and you get away from a lot of the larger rocks, you start hitting quite a bit more packed dirt and fine stone, with a lot of these white flecks mixed in. Occasionally, you're getting bigger chunks of bone, parts of, the upper thigh, the joint bones that connect into the various sockets, pieces of ribs and rib cages, spines, more pieces of skull. After a while, especially if you have someone separating them, you kind of gather that there's easily more than one body in this mixture. And quick aside, how long would you guys like to take on this? Because you will discover,
Nikolai,
after like the first half hour, when you guys get a lot of the surface rubble cleared out, you guys start hitting stairs.
Oh.
Nikolai would like to say, as long as necessary, but keeping in mind daylight, he would still like to try and do the orb today, if nothing else.
Well, I mean, if daylights are concerned,
We can take a break whenever we want, and you can do that in your time.
yeah, say it's 6:30 when Kenna and Lars started this little project. By the time you get involved, it's probably like another 40 minutes after that, so you guys are all sort of down here around 7:30, in which case you still have at least 2 more hours until the sun's even up.
I'm running his route, and I just ran Tara-Dash.
So it would have taken us a half hour.
We should be fine.
2 hours until breakfast.
Yeah.
Second
We'll
second.
work until breakfast. And like I said, we can always, if we have to sit down and tweak this if we need to. But the only ability for the tools was efficient clearing. So moves dirt, sand, snow, rock, and mud with ease comparatively. Can clear 5 feet of material with an action or per 10 seconds. We didn't decide on which one of those, but it's to negate things like move earth and stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know how fast we're moving through. I don't know how much material we're moving through.
You're moving
But
through
the
a decent
moment-
amount.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, that was it. I mean, like you guys are very efficient. And you guys are chugging along pretty well.
Okay.
Granted, so as I said, you guys eventually find a flight of stairs. It sort of narrows your work angle a bit, due to the fact that the actual entryway to the stairs is much smaller than the space you guys were previously working in.
I see. So Kenna, when we hit the stairs, Kenna would be we could work for just a little further to try and get the stairs cleared out. So we'll work let's worry less about digging further down and more about clearing all of this out, so it's all empty.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's like cleaning up, out of character, quote unquote, cleaning up the workspace.
Mm-hmm. I guess just as a quick aside, so we sort of know, where is all the rubble going to go?
Weren't there some overturned work carts?
Do we want to?
No.
Okay.
Well,
I don't know if people are looking at a
we can find
map,
out.
but I thought there was an empty room.
Well, we have a bunch of space to our south or our right for looking at the hole. So Nikolai can be moving it over.
Honestly, if
While
we
he's
wanted
moving
to, we
rocks.
could.
So I can also try this.
If we wanted to, we could walk it over and throw it off the bridge.
Yeah, but that
Oh,
would
no.
take quite a bit.
Yeah,
It would,
and
but
you
it
don't.
would be closer than. Well, it would keep the walkway clear, which is OSHA compliant. So it's up to you guys.
Yeah, we can just put it here because we can also just flatten it out so we don't really have anything that we need to walk over. So.
Okay, y'all.
Yeah. And also, Nikolai would be trying to make a point of separating as many solid bones as he could out of it, out of the rubble, because he's sort of in the best spot to do that, see a bone and lift it out of the dirt
Mm-hmm.
individually and then move it somewhere else.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Gwen would also like to make a case for setting the bones aside somewhere that we could maybe not identify them, but do something with them, so they're not just sort of discarded.
We'll come to that.
Yeah.
I guess final answer, Dyer, would be we're just getting the rubble into an empty spot in the room next door, basically, or whatever's nearby.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, we'll use it or take it somewhere else at our own time, but not while clearing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. In the hours coming up till sunrise, so about 9-ish, you guys will more or less invest about 3 solid hours of time here. As Kyle has put it, you will clear the workspace adequately and manage to dig down on this initial flight of stairs to clear about three flights, because they essentially go down for about 10 feet, hit a platform, turn, go down for about 10 feet, hit a landing, turn, go down 10 feet, hit a landing.
Wow.
Yeah. And you guys will clear out 2 of those.
I will just say, Lars, you have the shovel. Man, you're doing some thigh workouts up and down those stairs.
Yeah, it starts to get pretty involved. This is actually where Nikolai starts getting helpful, because while Nikolai can't move mass amounts, he can just, with his mind, grab handfuls of it and just lift it up and out without having to descend.
Can't wait for breakfast.
Yeah.
I miss when I had
And-
Mulder suddenly.
And also, if necessary, because of his telekinetic force, if there's anything just sheerly too big that even he us as a group can't lift, he can just smash it pretty easily.
Well, that's the part that's kind of worth noting. Larger rocks stop being a problem after you guys get down after the first flight of stairs. They all become, the largest you start encountering are Kenna's fist size and smaller.
Oh, so there's a tool change out.
Yes, absolutely.
Because she would have to get rid of the sledgehammer and grab the Pulaski to dig through the dirt.
Yep. And the further you go down, the more and more bone chips you start to get. They become more frequent.
I'd
Does
like
it
to
look
think. I'd like to think that Lars at this point would have taken off his coat, is working up a sweat, and is liking the burn.
Oh,
He's
that's
enjoying this.
actually a good question. As we get through the stairs, because Kenna was acclimated to that cold, does it feel like it's getting warmer or more humid the further we go down?
That's a great question. Hit me with just like a survival or perception check. Either is great.
Survival it
question.
is. I think my survival's a. I think my survival's a 5.
I'd
Yeah, it's a
probably agree
5.
with that.
So 10 plus 5 is 15.
Okay. Yes, because the thing that you notice after quite a bit of digging, Kenna, it becomes very apparent to you. The dirt here is moist, and it is not frozen solid.
Uh-huh. So every time we get a big chunk of dirt out, it just steams.
Yeah.
And if it's not overwriting, yeah, I see what you mean.
I have a question, Dyer.
Yeah, what's up?
Does it look like it's at this point? How big are the bone chips generally?
They vary in sizes.
Okay. Does it look that we've run through like this is more than one individual
Easily.
organism?
Yes.
Okay.
You guys have a pile growing that's probably up to someone's hip by now.
Can I
like to think that he's putting it as quickly as possible into what looks like a body shape, and then realizing, oh wait, why is there seven femurs for only 2 heads? What the fuck?
Wait.
No, like so, yeah,
Two
because the
heads.
pieces, most of the pieces are kind of ground down into smaller bits. But like I said, you get parts of skulls and like clavicles and pelvis bones and things like that, and you get enough of them where you start going, oh wait, this is more than one whole skeleton.
Yeah. Good to know.
Yeah. So, despite the blizzard raging outside, it is approximately 9:30. The sun is more or less up.
Yeah, 'cause these are all the Java.
Is it time for a break? I could really do with some food. I'm starving.
Hey, it probably is. Oh. Wow. You guys.
So
want
kind
to-
of like stands up straight, cracks her back, twists, pops the shoulders. We could take a break.
I think you should take a break.
I'll just start up the stairs and say I'll start on something to eat.
Yeah, Lars will put the shovel on the side of the wall and walk up, grab his coat, and be like, "Yeah, something. Tea. A good tea and a good bit of food."
Yes.
Yeah, so she'll work from the rations that we've got and put something together. And all the
We
food.
should, out of character. I tried to get Dyer to weigh in,
yes.
but we should have a shitload of meat.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we do.
Yeah,
So yes,
yeah.
between the lot of you, you have like 4 consecutive days worth of meals of harvested meat.
Of like actual like fresh foods.
Yep.
Because
Okay.
Gwen did great on that check.
Yeah.
And when I have a second after I'm done cooking, I'm gonna ask for Kenna's advice on how best to store meat in this area. So far, what I have done is just sort of buried it in the snow to keep it frozen. But you're the resident expert for this neck of the woods, so if it should go up a tree, I would like to know.
This is just all I know. Do you think if
Well,
we
burying it would be, burying it keeps it preserved as long as we're not moving it around, but you can also just hang it up outside of the wind. No, you just don't want the ground to freeze with the food inside of it, because we might not get the food back. But it's cold enough, if you keep it out of the wind, it should dry out and stay preserved on its own. You just don't want ice growing on the meat.
Freezer burn. Good to know. In that case, I'll rig something up to hang what we've got in one of those sections of the fort where it's cold and generally untraveled.
Okay. Yeah, it'll take you a little time. Again, you have quite a bit of meat to tend to.
Yeah. It's a walking taco sort of lunch setup that she puts together.
Throw a bunch of stuff into a pot with a couple handfuls of snow and just kind of like throw it over the fire. Be like, oh yeah, we'll get back to that later.
Yeah.
Ramirez, eat your heart out.
Yeah. No, she makes something, but something she can carry around with her while she's working.
Well, while she's cooking, Nikolai would like to go over to Kenna. Well, it's daylight. Can I have the bag before I check to see if it's safe?
Please, mother. Please.
She smiles. Nikolai, check to see if it's safe, and then I'll hand the bag over to you. We're eating right here. I'm not far away.
Like a little boy.
He takes a minute and 2 side points, cast augury on. Would it be safe for him to yeet the ball into his hand?
And you're not doing it alone. If you take it out, you have to let me know.
Yeah.
Or inside.
Or inside. You don't
Nikolai.
play weird orb inside. We've been over this.
Yes.
As you begin performing the ritual in which you've become very familiar with, you have a moment where you glimpse forward into the future. It's foggy and gray. Details are hard for you to focus on. The only thing that you see is out in the blinding white of the snow, a hand that's just sort of left, sitting, unmoving. And you just snap back, and you have a feeling of dread.
To reality.
Oh, that's not good. That's weird. Well, was it like blizzard-like conditions? I think you.
Well, it is blizzarding currently.
Yeah, but in the vision, or could I make it out if it was?
It was a hand
Gray.
sitting. Everything was great, but the hand was sitting in just like white snow. So it certainly looked like it was outside, but you couldn't tell if it was still blizzarding or not.
Seeing Nikolai's reaction. So, was that not good?
It's a little bit unspecified. All I could see was a hand sitting in snow. Wait,
Was it moving?
no, it wasn't.
I'll call that a bad sign.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Nikolai, Kenna goes, I don't know much about these things. Maybe it's as you might, but maybe it's not the sunlight. Maybe it's the weather. Maybe just because it's cold when it's dark is why it is aggressive to being in our presence. Maybe with this blizzard, it is just as cold as if it was dark. Maybe the worse the weather, the colder it is, the more powerful it is.
Can I hear this conversation?
Yeah, I'm assuming. Yeah, no, I'm assuming you guys are just in the common area eating.
Yeah. Not hiding it.
Did you see this? Were you able to? The skin color of the hand.
Yeah. Well, what type of hand was it? Was it a human hand?
How did it? Was it big hand?
It was not a big hand. At a glance, it was definitely a pretty plain-looking, human-ish hand.
Was it Nikolai skin colored?
We have Nicola and Ryan, who seem to be in the lighter skin tones, and then
It
Aloy
was
and Glenn.
yeah. It was on the much lighter side.
Mm.
Here's a good question. Did it have a signet ring on its finger?
Perhaps, and by perhaps I mean yes.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, no.
Well, oh right. Do you have a signet on your hand?
Yeah. Yes, he
I think
does.
you can recognize the signet.
I do too.
Yeah. I guess that is a good question because I didn't. Yeah. Can I recognize the signet?
You know what? Make me a history check. Because it was a bit gray
You
and
should know
blurry.
your own.
So we'll
It was
see.
gray and snowy.
Yeah. So we'll see what details if you can pull that out.
Hey.
Nikolai takes the bag outside and it's fine. But it does kill Mordecai. We don't understand why.
That's pretty good. It was
He just drops dead.
All right, bring it in.
It was Nikolai's.
Okay.
Yeah. Like most of the visions pertaining to me dropping the orb into my hand, it was me that.
It looked like it worked. That was the
Nice.
It says it negotiates.
Yes. So not touching that until the weather clears. Unfortunate.
Dyer, I'd like to cast Druidcraft.
Okay.
Check the weather. Or the relative weather.
Yeah, because it predicts it in the next 24 hours. So yeah, you conjure a little bit of magic that spawns this small little glowing sphere, and the sphere becomes. You know what? Roll D100 for me. Let's see what it becomes.
Good at those. I'm not good at those.
The sphere dims and becomes surrounded by dark, heavy gray clouds, and you see a ginger snowfall begin to descend from this little illusory orb you've created.
Oh, that's not good.
How are the horses holding up?
All right.
I can switch it.
You guys probably need to start thinking about some feed for them.
The weather doesn't look like it
Um,
will clear up anytime
I
soon.
was gonna say if anyone asks, maybe.
Feed for them is going to be almost impossible to find with a blizzard.
Watercress. Is any of the forage that we've been able to find like suitable as horse feed?
I mean, you could definitely feed it to a horse. It's not very, it's not enough to be of substance for 3 horses. Kenna could maybe spend the whole day foraging and probably get enough to feed 3 horses. And even then, they might not be super happy at the end of the day.
I mean, especially when it's continually blizzarding, anything that would have been able to grow is going to be buried.
Okay, the webpage likes it.
Well, I guess we have extra meat.
Have we not had any sort of like fodder for them this whole time?
We have.
I thought Krista had like food or bought us provisions.
Yeah, but several days have passed.
And check your document. You guys have an inventory of what she bought you.
Yeah. Nope.
Yeah, we should subtract from it.
Nope. There's no food. There's no food for horses. Like
I thought we just.
But
I
should
mean,
not have bought us horse food?
I thought we brought it up. I thought it happened much early before we had a certain amount of horse food for some reason.
I will say this: feed takes up a lot of weight space,
We'll just do
and
that.
so feed for 3 horses for up to a week wouldn't have, I don't believe, fit in the actual bag of holding.
Huh.
Well.
I think
Well,
that might have been like, but yeah, I don't know.
Like you said, Ken, we'll have extra meat.
I would rather not do that.
Neither would I.
Well, me neither, but they can either starve if we can't feed them, or the opposite. Or we let them go. We
They're-
let them free and we let them out into the wild for them to find their own.
Town is only 7 hours away. Worst
Exactly.
come to worst, one
don't
person
think
can
Yeah,
make a
so I was
day-long
about-
journey back and forth to get food.
They're not going
We're
to
not
survive.
stranded in the middle.
We kind of are. This is a men fort. Out of character.
We're not stranded in the middle of the
no,
forest.
no,
We know our way
we're
back.
not.
This is not the Donner Party, y'all.
we and
Kenny-
also,
Kenny
since we're
here's-
gonna be wait,
Kenny hears the in-person back and forth, the in-character ones, and goes, I guess if anyone has to go to town, me and Edelweiss could, logically. Nikolai, you're not allowed to. When you have to stay with Nikolai.
I'm not allowed.
To go back into town, where your sister told you to stay here and wait for her.
I'm gonna have
And
to agree with
Gwen-
Kenna on this one.
Gwen is supposed to look after you, so she's got to stay here with you. And Mordahine, people would want him dead. And he's here for you. So
He might be
he
your
should
best-
stay here with you. Edelweiss can see in the darkness the best of all of us. And I could make sure we get back there safe and sound.
Can I roll
If we
insight on
have-
this?
I mean, as long as the only person going into town would be Edelweiss, because I have a feeling that if some people recognized you, only one person would return.
If even.
I could.
Huh?
I could very easily go into town.
So
I don't
could
think
I.
anyone would recognize me.
I don't think anyone will recognize me either.
You tend to stand out. I say
do-
Mordahine and Edelweiss.
I also would say Mordahine and Edelweiss, and if not Mordahine and Edelweiss, either me and Edelweiss or me and Gwen. Because the thing is that, my sister is still a long way out. I could make it there and back about 4 times. No, not even that. About 6 times before she even starts to return. So,
Nikolai, you could make your way back in this blizzard without getting lost?
You're still recovering.
If you are struggling, I do know somebody who worked as a hunter in town who could get you back here. If you mention my name to him, he might be able to help you out very well.
And that is
then
if
maybe-
they are willing to travel a blizzard.
I think I would go with
I'm
Anna.
not. I would say Mordahine and Edelweiss would be a better duo.
But Kenna does make a point about not being able to find their way through the blizzard.
She also seems to be well equipped to surviving outside.
I mean, how?
If the weather gets
okay, out of
worse.
character. How? Out of character. How long do the horses have food for, or can last? I guess is a better question.
Well,
Because if it's
the horse feed for you guys to have on you depends on who individually actually brought horse feed for the horses. I'm assuming
brought horse feed for mine.
I'm about to say I'm assuming Gwen, who had a horse, was traveling at least with a day or two's worth of feed on them.
That would have been it.
Yeah, because otherwise it's a little unwieldy to casually carry that with a horse without a wagon attached.
Which means Gwen's horse has been the most fed horse, and there's no more horse feed.
yeah. Well, I guess it goes down to you two.
Well, Allow me to inject this real quick. Mordahine, when Nikolai gave you the ability to jump onto the roof of the fort the day previous, and you did a little looking around on the interior where you saw those unusual foreign trees, there was snow piled up around because clearly no one's been in there for a while, nothing's really moving it. But you did see, like, blades of grass breaking through parts of the snow in places. Quite high, actually. Because, again, no one's been here for a while, and it's surviving the weather. Which is probably the more weird part.
Okay, so Lars will probably have this like idea moment and just go, you know, when I went up on the roof to look around, I found this like central courtyard that had like dead trees, but had shoots of grass. Maybe we could let the horses in there and they can feed on the grass. It may not be for long, but we could use one of them to go get more feed while the others get fed. Just saying.
Or we could. It may be long enough to at least wait out the blizzard so that it may be easier to go back and forth.
Well, how exactly do we get into the courtyard now?
It's the pain.
You have to get this door open. Or one of the any other numerous ones that are attached.
Yeah, Lars just points at the big door and goes, "It is literally was there."
I haven't been able to find a way in, besides up and around.
I mean,
Those levers do anything?
Yes, I mean, we can try them again. Now that we might as well.
Kind of walks over to the doors real quick that Lars pointed out. I can't see the map, so whatever doors they are, she'll just walk over and wait for somebody to mess with the levers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Nikolai's going.
Okay.
Well, hold on. Yep.
Yeah. I did see a possible entrance from the outside several days ago. It was
Indeed.
around.
There was
Perhaps you could
There was a gate.
Yep.
Notably.
take underneath if it's possible.
Indeed, there are 4 entrances. The north, the one, this one, he points to it, is the sole one in this part of the courtyard. The other one on the other side has 3 areas to go into. There are many ways to access this courtyard, not just this door alone.
There's a mechanism. Probably not on the inside.
Well,
Nikolai?
Nikolai didn't hear any of that, so
No.
He's going to, he will telekinetic hands and mess with this bottom lever. Cool.
Well, if you recall, only one of the levers is currently functioning. All the other ones are broken.
Oh yeah. Oh yes, that's right. Okay, then the functional one.
Okay.
And
You
yeah.
you pull the lever, and a slot in that wall slides down, creating what you believe to be an effective fighting point in case someone were sieging the castle and coming through this tunnel.
And
Coming
he,
through a tunnel
pull
or the
himself in.
courtyard?
Tunnel.
Tunnel.
Yeah,
Okay.
there is an entryway
Can he pull
tunnel
himself in?
at the front of the fort.
Ah.
Yeah, well, actually, so Edelweiss has told you guys about this point. I'll just pop you over there, Nikolai, to make because you could see through the gap.
Yeah.
And like all the other places, there's a big old gate.
And there's also a point where Eldritch Blast hit it. Little chips.
A little scuff.
Yeah.
By any chance, Lars, when you were up on the roof, did you see what mechanism was keeping the doors shut?
Would I be privy to that information?
The answer is you saw no mechanism.
Okay. More or less that. I mean, I shouldn't have said mechanism. I should have said like, was there a bar and chain or anything? But
That's what I'm. That's what I'm really. There was no obvious thing that held fast the door.
There seemed to be no mechanism holding the doors or to open them or close them. They just seemed like standard doors. Would have been able to gauge if they were like thick or or
They are. They are at least as thick as the walls of the fort.
These are very chunky doors.
Well, they're opened and closed by something. So we either have to go through the tunnel, or we have to find whatever room we didn't get into and get into it.
Yeah, and also, all these doors seem to be connected to one mechanism. Just in free time, I was studying the building, and it's with the way it's designed, it seems. It honestly seems to be all connected. So, we very well may find something like a button that can press that unlocks all the doors.
What our closest to that be?
She goes, "What kind of button unlocks doors?"
What's a mechanism?
I don't know.
Exactly.
What's a mechanism?
If this is all in an effort to feed the horses, there is a more, at least, not convenient, but still the readily available option of just going back to town.
That we just take one horse as the bag of holding, get as much feed as we can, bring it back. Hey presto, we got food for a while for the horses.
There is also something that we can do is we can very much just bring everyone in the party over. It'd be much safer to move in a larger group than just a few people.
But would we want to hold that? Do that now, or do that maybe tomorrow?
After the blizzard. If there's a blizzard, the group shouldn't move.
Well, in that case,
I know you don't want people to split up, Nikolai, but I have a gut feeling that if it's cold enough and strong enough, some of you could freeze to death on your own.
Quite. But so in that case, we wait till the blizzard is done, but we keep going with the tunneling. Yes.
Dyer, didn't you say there was
We
some?
can continue with the timer.
Dyer, didn't you say there was like some hay or some straw in the longhouse?
Straw?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Hay
No.
or straw or something on the floor.
I did not make note of that. No.
No.
A lot of
There
broken
was
up
a lot
wood
of
furniture.
soot. Yeah.
Great for
A lot of
firewood.
soot and firewood.
Yep.
Okay, so let's just focus on trying to get these doors open.
I believe out of character, I could wild shaping allows me to keep my mental stats correct.
Correct. Because you're a
Because
druid.
it's not like polymorph.
Correct. You basically
Um,
you benefit from the better of the two stats,
stats.
of the creature or you.
Okay. Kenna is just kind of frustrated that no one really knows except for Lars what's in this courtyard. She said, I'll be back. And I walk outside into the blizzard.
Okay.
And
It's,
then
it's fierce.
and then I wild shape into a snowy owl.
Cute.
Oh, I
Double
can't.
checking.
I
Yeah,
can't.
that's a- you
I
can't-
can't go flying yet.
Nope, that's 8th level.
Oh no! Moon druids are too good.
Climbing speed?
Moon druids are also relegated on their flight speeds to 8th level too.
Are they? Oh, they
Yep.
just have the CR difference.
Yeah, the CR difference is the only thing that changes. The movement types come with level still.
Oh, bummer.
It's alright.
Yeah, do something with climbing, maybe.
That's
Like a
you could
lizard.
choose something with climbing.
My suggestion.
I can't
Medium-sized
do.
spider.
I can't do black bear yet. I could do. I mean, spider. Yeah. Oh,
There are other things.
I'm just.
There are other
She's
things
just
to
gonna
climb.
like. She's just gonna like. Walk outside, into the blizzard, and go. Ah, I wish I could be a bird. And then. And then, out in the blizzard, starting to step back inside. As soon as she hits the like protected area, will then wild shape into a really fat squirrel,
Okay.
Honk.
and then I will go climb through the slit. Oh, the slit doesn't go into the courtyard.
does not
I hate
go
not
into
being
the
able
courtyard.
to see shit. I'm trying to think all of this in my head. I don't know. I want to get into the courtyard.
I
We
see
all wanna
that.
get in the court.
Again, something with a climb speed would probably suit you best, or something that can jump really high, one or the other.
Are you
Or
gonna take the unlimited teleportation on the? No, you said you're gonna move that. 'Cause you can just.
or something on point. Again, something with sure footing in climbing up the mountain that the fort is built out of, and then going up and then coming back down to the roof would also be a
Lars-
choice.
Lars will
Oh,
interject.
the roof goes to the mountainside?
Oh yeah, it's literally
Oh.
carved from the mountain.
Okay. Wait, I don't know what CR this is.
I will
But
find it for you.
her most native land animal is the horned ram. Is a big horned ram. That's what her mask is based off of.
Ram.
Lars would interject and say, if you need to get into the courtyard, make sure you get Nikolai to use the spell jump on you. You could easily make it in there.
Good go.
Yeah.
Or that.
Although, I would.
Mountain goats.
Yeah.
I love that band.
No. You don't spend time looking up the fucking CR creature.
Too late.
This
It's
is-
one
okay.
ACR.
Okay.
It's actually
I can do those.
yeah, it's actually darn near perfect for that.
Yeah.
Use it
Oh,
to
it
scale the
does
backside of the mountain, and then cut around and land on the roof. It would work.
How tall is the roof again?
It's quite tall. Given that the fort is only one floor, it's 15 feet up to the battlements, and then another 10 feet up from there. So 25 feet in total.
Being a ram would actually.
Did
Yeah.
she say she was going up, or she has to leave?
Yeah, walks outside. I'm sorry for if there's any like back and forth because I can't look
It's
at
fine.
options on my computer. Well, yeah, would go outside. Bighorn ram.
Tell anyone what she's doing, or she has to go.
You'll see.
Yeah, well, I think Kenna asserted that she was frustrated only Lars or only Mordahine had seen inside the courtyard.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of exited very pointedly on that statement.
Bighorn
I guess
rams.
Edelweiss will kind of like watch, kind of peer out and see like question mark.
Okay.
I would like to do such acts as bighorn ram.
Okay. You are a bighorn ram.
Thick.
And you are, as I've stated numerous times, well suited for this position that you're putting yourself in. So much so, and again, because, you know, this sort of environment you're not unfamiliar to, and this is a perfectly selected beast for the occasion, I will just hand wave the rolls because, well, this is literally what they do.
I just want to put out of character. All's fun and ends well until Ken is in a desert.
Yeah.
Maybe one day. Maybe one day.
Fire bad.
Fire bad. You're
Except
talking
at
to
night.
the
Like, except at night.
fire?
Except at night.
Yeah. So, Kenna, as a goat, marches out into the blizzard, finds a segment of the mountain that looks like it will be suitable to begin climbing, and through a stubborn determination that comes from mountain goats only, begins scaling the side of the mountain that the fort is built out of. And inevitably, after probably what is a good solid, 20 minutes of being battered by this blizzard, getting to a position where you can jump to the roof.
I just start making
I like the
ram
idea that
noises.
Ram noises. I like the
My
idea
kid.
that through the blizzard we can just hear stray clopping. Like, oh, there she is. Clop.
When hears happy goat noises.
Actually, I mean, you guys don't hear anything. Unless you were
would,
outside, you don't hear anything.
Also, I just realized only Gwen knows I wild shape.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just kind of watched you turn into a goat.
No, it's just something she does. Don't worry
Yeah,
about
did you
it.
turn in front of us?
No, it turned
No,
out
Kenna
the
walked
blizzard.
outside, and yeah, but
I
the
mean-
point is, unless you were standing next to Kenna, you didn't see anything. This blizzard is not
Oh.
stopped. You guys don't hear
I thought-
anything.
I
You guys
thought
don't
she
see
was
anything.
In my sight.
She's aware goat.
Darkseid doesn't help with blizzards.
Oh yeah, I didn't know how far I was when I checked on her.
Oh, me neither. But either way, I want to see inside the courtyard.
Yep. Well, here you go.
Cool.
Granted, yeah, this is what you can see. I don't know if you're going to hop down, because getting out will be a lot more challenging than getting in. So that choice is yours.
I mean, she has another wild shape.
Yeah, but these are smooth stone walls, and they're straight up 25 feet. A mountain goat,
Oh,
no
no,
matter
I mean-
how stubborn, cannot climb the way out of that.
Yes, but the wildfire spirit can teleport.
That's a fair point.
Or a spider. Spiders exist.
Yeah, but the
Spiders
blizzard-
also die in cold.
And have 1 hit point.
Yeah.
And depends on the type of spider we're
There are a lot
talking
of
about.
Either way.
Yeah.
All right. What do my goat eyes perceive me?
That's a good question. With your amazing passive perception of 10,
Well, isn't mine is 13.
fair. Well, even then, 13. You can see these leafless trees. There is essentially 2 interior courtyards, one of which holds 4 trees. They are small and without any greenery whatsoever. There are mounds of snow, especially thanks to this blizzard recently. In the secondary courtyard further south, there is an enormous tree, likewise leafless. And even at a glance, to you know these trees are not native to this land at all. It's actually quite unusual. And then sort of tying that all off, in the places where the snow has not mounded exponentially, you can see the tips of blades of tall grass sticking out of the snow.
Okay. What about these doors?
The doors, their exteriors are planked with wood, banded in metal. And based off of the general perspective of where you think the room is and everything, like Mordeheim said, they're very thick. There are no obvious methods for them to be lowered or moved. They are flush to the walls.
I just start clomping around the roof, making a lot of ram noises.
Okay. Yep. Can verify. Sounds like Ram.
Yep.
10 out of 10, a goat would do.
Okay. The tree's not frozen.
Nope.
There's no ice on it.
Nope.
Has snow collected on it?
Nope.
Okay. Inquisitive, but we'll wait for later. How far is the drop?
25 feet.
Ram. Rams have a climb speed, right?
They do have a climb speed of 30 feet.
Okay.
But they need something to climb on.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Slight argument. Rams can climb up sheer wall dams, but I understand your ruling. Yeah, they're really interesting pictures. There's like goats and rams that have climbed like the Hoover Dam and with the tiniest crack, but that doesn't matter. I understand the smooth side walls. 25 feet. Hey.
Yep.
Snow. Oh, cats aren't. I mean, goats aren't cats, so I would probably get hurt if I jumped.
I mean, your wild shape might survive. They're surprisingly hardy for being a CR 1/8.
Ram. Thick. Fuck. I don't have any other senses, do I? Okay.
Nope.
Actually, interested. I ram jump into the largest snow pile.
Wow, that escalated real quick. Sure. Make me an acrobatics check. Let's see how graceful of a goat you really are.
I don't know why, but I've got this image in my head of some guy grabbing a goat and using it to ram a door open like they're using police.
I mean, some rams historically have been based off of rams, so like.
Yeah.
This is too good. I rolled a 17 plus 2 for a 19, and I also rolled on the hood of my car. I'm sending you a picture, Dyer.
Okay.
Too good. But yeah, 19 total.
Yeah, you will find the largest pile of snow, and you will, kind of wag your little ram tail, and then with a sudden burst of energy, leap into the air and descend, and kind of, braying all the way down, land into the pile of snow, and then after a long, silent moment, kind of ram hop your way out, and be perfectly fine. You managed to negate all of the damage you took.
I will then proceed to make my way over to the tall blades of grass, and using the ram buffer, I will attempt to eat some of the blades of grass to see if it would benefit the horses.
Okay.
Oh my god.
So yeah, chewing on the tips of these blades of grass that you see sticking out of the snow, you find they are, palatable, for a goat, at least. And you're surprised that despite the fact that they're submerged completely in snow, that they're not just dead. There seems to be something that's keeping the vitality of this grass quite alive.
I let out a really loud ram call to see if the party can hear me.
I'm going to go with a hot no from everybody except for Gwen, who can make me a perception check.
A hot no. Well, at least we know they're useful now. And we aren't going to waste time getting horses in here.
Not even night 18.
20.
Yeah, like everyone else is kind of like breakfast, tea, waiting to see what's happening, maybe, theorizing about ways to get the door open. Suddenly, Gwen, like the hairs in the back of your neck are raised, but not in the way that, like, you're alerted to, like, danger. More of, like, the bestial side of you is like, wait, there's something I could kill nearby. And then you hear it, like, you hear just the howling of the blizzard, things and trees and branches swaying off in the distance, and you're just, like, you're positive you just heard it. Yeah, that.
Do I know that kid had turned into a goat?
Nope.
I guess not. There's a goat outside.
Pointedly, you feel like it's coming through this door.
There's a goat in the courtyard.
Oh wow.
What?
There's a what?
There's a goat in the courtyard.
Should I?
I go and like hammer on the door. Do it again.
Can I tell where the door, the hammering is coming from?
Yes.
Okay. Is this one of the large doors, or is this like a smaller door?
It is the largest, one of the 2 largest doors in the courtyard.
Oh, okay.
It is the one that is. It is the one that is the one attached to the room you guys have been staying in.
Okay. I run at it and headbutt it and let out a big wah!
See, there's a goat.
Yeah, you guys hear something hit the door.
Should I go
Just go
check
out
it
there.
out?
How,
Why is there a goat?
I don't know.
Why?
I mean, Kenna can turn into animals. Maybe it's Kenna.
She did go out.
Bomb drop.
I'm sorry. She can what?
She can turn into animals.
Perhaps I should check on her then, assuming it is her.
Maybe.
Oh, that's
probably.
right, because Edelweiss is now the only person who knows in character.
Oh,
Or
God.
Gwen?
No, Edelweiss is the only person who knows that because of her dad. So she's curious.
Well, I mean, whatever the plan
I
is, we
was
gotta
not
figure.
thinking about that. I was just
We-
like,
Okay.
We gotta figure out something to get this door open. Dude, she's on the other side and she's gonna freeze out there.
Meh.
Is there any way? Meh.
I'm okay. Anyways, well, take the bag with the cloak inside, and they will be like, I can actually, if it's can get from the top, I could go there. Because I want to Misty step from the battlements onto the roof.
Oh god.
Foolproof.
Mhm.
Well, the rest of us will look for a way to get into the courtyard for now. How about that?
Then I want to do such as that,
All right.
or at least go on top.
Yeah, I'll put you inside the courtyard, but you're basically standing on the edge of the roof.
I'm gonna shout through the door. We're trying to find a way to get it open. Just hang in there.
You don't hear any of that.
Meh.
Meh.
You also don't hear that.
What? Why?
Listen, let's just find a way to get these doors open. Anything we can do to those broken levers? Can you get your magic hands in there and pull on them from inside? I don't know.
Quick
Dyer,
question.
while they're looking for something, in goat form, with my ram goatastic eyes, I would like to try to up close inspect as much of the door as I can, just
Okay.
to see what it's about, because Lars got the far away look. But then once I've exhausted that, depending on how much time that takes, would then go inspect the largest center tree
Okay.
afterwards. Yep.
Well, make me an investigation check.
Roger. I don't know what the goats is, but mine I think's a +2.
Yours is way better because the goats is a -4.
Well, that's good because I rolled an 18, so that's a dirty 20.
Nice. Before we get to that, Edelweiss.
Stupid.
Edelweiss is going to yell, Kenna, is that you?
Ah.
I'll assume that's a yes. Question 2.
Bold choice.
Can mage hands pick up a small animal? I'm assuming so. How-
Well,
okay, I'm
this
sorry.
is not
How
a
the
this is
top
not a
from-
small goat.
Oh, but she can turn
Rams.
into one, possibly.
Oh yeah, hypothetically, but current form about the same size as you.
That's for,
10 pound.
5. It's 10 pounds. Okay, 10 pounds. I don't. How much is the top? From the top to the bottom, how many feet?
25,
That means the mage. That's mage hands, right?
basically. I mean, the short answer to your question is if Kenna is a small enough animal, and one that will not instantly die or freeze to death because of blizzard, you could lift Kenna out.
A small cat, or like a snow rabbit. Oh, actually, the rabbit might be heavier than that.
Yeah,
Little
again.
small kitty.
Anyway, we'll figure
A
that
rat.
out. Kenna, Ram Kenna, Ramna, and there's something there. You go and investigate this door. of which, again, you've seen the other side of it, and they are mere matches. Again, thick, dense, hardy wood. Your ram attack on it didn't even scratch it or leave a dent. Banded in thick, heavy metal, riveted to the door. Essentially, think about the crates that the chest that you broke into, except the craftsmanship is about 100 times better and more sturdy.
Right. You said they were wooden doors, right?
They are wooden on the outside, yes.
Banded in metal.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Very
We'll
elegant.
come back to that. I have a certain inkling inside me.
Wearing it all.
Meanwhile, Kenna Goat is going to head over to the tree. What about this tree would you like to decipher?
Looking for its if I can get an up close look at its bark.
Sure.
Just
Make
to
me
see if I could
a nature check.
Nature. All right. Am I gonna roll in the sand? I am gonna roll on this patch of sand. Nature. Here we go.
+4.
I believe +4. Yeah.
Yep.
Survival's +5. Nature.
Come on, Sam.
12 + 4 for 16.
Okay. Decent number. And again, we'll get back to you in a second. The rest of you inside. What is your plan of attack? You're trying to find a way to open the door. What are you going to do?
I was gonna ask, does the door have any locks?
No.
The only thing we have, I think, so far are these 3 levers, 2 of which are broken off, 1 opens a slit.
Yeah. For the record, there are 6 levers in total, 3 on either side.
Oh.
So yeah, so there's 2 sides to that hallway, of which you guys have been to both sides. Both sides have 3 levers. Out of the 6, 4 of them have more or less been mangled or destroyed, and only 2 of them are operational on one on either side.
Have we pulled the one on the other side?
Yes, it also opens up a slit.
Okay.
But it is not mirroring of the other side. It is a different lever. If the lever on the right side is in position 3, the lever on the left side is in position 1.
Okay.
And they all open up slats into the stone wall.
So we've got to find some way to unmangle them enough to make them function again.
Can I
Before
roll?
you had heat.
Can I roll a D100 to try and unravel this mystery?
You certainly can. If you want to try to Sherlock this, that is something you can do with that.
Ryan.
Ryan.
Yeah. This needs to be done.
Give it to me.
Come on, family of industrialism.
Industrialist.
That's a 78.
Only one who knows what a machine is. Come on.
Yeah, the only one who knows
That's
what a
actually
machine
pretty
is.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good. Okay, so you guys are sort of working through trying to figure out what the most important thing is. You're sort of fixated on these levers. Ryan, Lars comes from a long history of, well, first of all, relatively advanced technology, and of which their head engineer was a dwarf. Dwarves are known for their simplicity in their style, and things are usually built in such a way that they are, when they're not operational, they're not impeding anyone's movement or purpose. In that regard, you sort of think about the way this fort's been laid out, the way these doors are centered on the courtyards, and you realize if you have someone coming in through the front gate, and it's locked in such a way that there's no obvious method to unlock it, there has to be a way to open the gates from a position where you know someone is entering the courtyard. And you go, where is the best position to do this from? Well, the only time you ever know someone's coming in to the fort is from the battlements. There would be somewhere, and probably designed in such a manner that it is not obvious to someone, say, invading the fort, a toggle or a stone or a switch of some kind that is embedded into the wall that looks like part of the fort that is meant to open these doors. And there should either be one near every gate, respectively, or there will be a master control somewhere, and it's usually tied magically to the various officers. But you definitely think there's something here. You just have to go to the positions to find them.
Okay. So Lars would be like sort of stood, like scratching his chin, looking at the door, and going, you know, if I was wanting to open these doors, I would want to have a good view of what was going on. And I think we should be looking on the battlements for a switch of some sort that can open these doors. Because I believe that is the only place you'll be able to open them from. And I am fairly certain there is such a thing.
Oh. Bundle up, folks. Let's say divide and conquer. Nikolai and I can pick one side and...
Yeah, there are essentially 3 major sections of the battlements left intact. I will take an investigation check from all 3 of you.
Investigation.
We can swap up.
Oh man. Oh man. Oh, investigation. Oh, that is a 5 for me.
Oof.
17 for me.
Okay, and I see a 20 for Nikolai.
Dirty 20.
Before I give you guys your results,
30
Kenna, in the interior as a ram, you sort of you're working your way up. You got to push your way through a lot of this snow that's just sort of fallen in here, but luckily it's not packed, so you just sort of push your way through. Getting up to this large tree that is interesting because the base of the tree and its body is got this unusual twist to it. So as it grows, it continues to twist almost like a spiral. And the branches sort of grow out of this twist, creating this unusual, almost like, I don't know, like tornado-like effect that everything just kind of looks like motion. The bark on this tree is fine. The color of it is surprisingly still quite vibrant, despite having weathered this terrible winter. In that the exterior bark is a bit of a muddy brown yellow, and the bits and pieces of the flesh you can see underneath appear to be a bit of a rosy red. It is not like any tree you've ever seen before. Confused ram noises.
I rub my face on it and my horns and see how the bark holds up.
It holds up pretty well. The parts where your horns kind of hit it, it does scratch at the bark a bit, but it stays intact.
I hoof it. I slap it with a hoof.
Okay. You know what? Just roll me a d20 and add the ram's strength modifier.
Which is what? 4?
Plus 2.
Plus 2? Roger. Back to my nice little sand patch.
Mm-hmm.
That I sent a picture to Nikolai of. Alright, I rolled below a 10 for once. That's an 8 plus 2 for 10 total.
Alright. Yeah, like I said, you kind of just rear up the hoof and you give it a good hoofing, and just like before, you scratch along the bark, but the bark stays attached to the tree, and it's relatively resilient.
Okay.
Would you call that a big hoof?
Call that a big
And
hoof.
it's like a...
Oh my god.
I will take it. I will take it.
Let's see. Alright, I
have 2 very good points.
Knowing that they are now on the search to getting the door open, Kenna will actually go searching and inquire about what she really cares about in this courtyard, which is what the trees are all about. Are the other trees the same type of the big one?
They are.
Okay.
just very much smaller.
Now that
And
we're
I-
up on
so
the
I've
development,
Just to say this thing real quick before you continue. 1.8 Ice would if you can transform into something very small, I could probably get you out of there when you need to, if we can open it. That's it.
So you would have to yell that.
Yep.
Raging Blizzard.
Meh.
Make a Constitution check, Edelweiss. See if you can flex those lungs.
Oh, I hope I can. The Tuesday check. I'm doing the same throw, but same
double
thing.
14s.
You got it. You got.
Yep. Can I, you
Do-
can you
do they
can
get a plus
hear?
one?
You can kind of hear, you know, Edelweiss trying to communicate something. Like you can hear words being spoken, but you can't make them out.
Mm-hmm. But I can hear her, so I like look over.
Yeah,
Them.
you can.
Meh. And I trot to the other trees that are smaller in type.
Mm-hmm.
Not knowing the grass ever, because Kenna hasn't, I guess, seen the grass ever. Not knowing the trees at all.
Mm-hmm.
Getting the descriptions. I'm gonna go to one of the, I guess, go to one of the lesser snowed areas, just because there's walls. It's not gonna be even. Just gonna try and like tromp around in a smaller snowed on area and see if I can actually dig through the snow to the ground.
Okay.
I want to get through all of the snow down to earth or stone, whatever it is, and I want to do it at the base of one of the trees.
Okay. Real quick, we're gonna take our last bio break right there. We'll come back at 40 past, and then we'll kind of, get all these little things tied up in a neat little bow.
Maybe.
Well, most of these. Some
Maybe.
things.
Brian giving what's the club?
Yeah.
How many hours did we spend working on the stairs?
3.
3.
Important plot point about
Yeah.
tunneling. What's the plot point about tunneling?
About getting to know what's below us. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
And
We get this-
would you say Ken sorry Hagi, that you are the goat today?
I mean, you kind of got that
Meh.
role, which was important to actually do something.
Meh.
What
know
were
what's
you gonna say
funny?
to me, Harugi, anyways?
What?
Because you're like, because you know, and I'm like, what do I know? What specific thing am I supposed to be?
Yeah, I just assumed you were like, what's this Faye doing now?
No, it was literally just I was like here, it's like, huh? Poke out. And
Case
then I'm like,
closed.
oh, I'll just help you because I actually can get up there. Misty Step is amazing. I'll be right back.
Honestly, this is the most workaround method of doing this. I straight have 4 spell slots and could easily cast jump on myself.
Do it while you're a
Yo,
goat.
jump was you.
The goat jumps
Not
over
even-
the moon, literally.
Yeah, not even while I'm a goat. If I'm like 7, 8 plus jumping, you can do like a standing high jump. It's like 3 times the distance or something. Like I could probably just straight jump and then do a pull up onto the battlement.
It's like an anime goat. You're literally just superhero goat, just literally leap onto a roof. Oh, I have a really bad joke about the cremator. I'll say it at the end because I'm pretty sure it will get me in trouble.
That's fair.
Nikolai knows the joke. I had to tell it to someone, and I want to tell someone I can trust with this information.
Well, in the Inkling, if y'all figure out how to get the doors open, because I just remembered what Dyer said, I can just innately light wood on fire now. So
Yeah,
I could just, I could just, yeah, I could just put my hand to the door and light the wood on fire.
Well, let's hope that we open it before you resort to that, because
I'm not resorting to that. Kenna's honestly, getting the doors open was just like a side quest. She really wanted to know what these trees
I know
were.
that's the problem though, because I was like, this is the reason why I've been saying like important plot point about tunneling, but like it's not that it's what I said before that, where like I said like we were like so sure about doing this tunneling thing, and I wanted to get really far into it, and yet we got sidetracked because we need to feed the horses.
I mean, I still stand by what I said in character. Let the horses die. But that's Kenna.
The thing is that Lars would have done either. Like, yeah, we might need more meat, but also if we let them go, they might find the way back, just like that pony from Lord of the Rings.
That's why Kenna was just like, let them go into the wild, or we can use meat. It's one or the other. Like,
yeah.
I mean,
is it I got there with the help of a hunter. In no time at all. They know the place. It's not going to be that bad.
Yeah. No, Kenna's argument is that because this is blizzarding and it's supposed to continue for the next 24 hours,
it's gonna be bad.
That
I get that.
I think, unless the cloak has got protection, I think Kenna's the only one who can actually handle the cold.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, but while I was outside on the last watch, I think CJ did say that I have a bit better, like I can manage the cold a bit better, but I don't know how extreme that is. I don't know if that's extreme to the point of blizzard, or if it's to the point of it's just cold, you can bear it. So either way,
he literally said yesterday, it was like even the people who are more resistant to the cold would find the cold last night uncomfortable. It's daytime at least, so it shouldn't be as cold. But
uncomfortable is not taking like cold. My cold resistance in the DMG actually gives me like climate negating. Like it doesn't have an effect.
That part's true.
I was just saying that on my last watch that CJ did say that my character can bear the cold a bit better, maybe. But I think for Blizzard. I don't think that
so literally, Nikolai is the only.
Because that's why I said when Kenna gets to the desert, she's gonna be. She's gonna be SOL. She's gonna be SOL.
I don't know what that means.
S out of luck.
Poo poo out of luck. Because it's oh boy, no mountains, no cold air, no trees, just hot sun. That sounds awful.
Yeah.
And there you go, guys. The use of the D100 that was said to us last game.
Yeah.
Make use of it if you can.
Telling you, they're useful. Especially when you just you have a need, that's how you fix them. And everyone's uses will be different. Like I really like that Lars is just literally let me think through this problem. Whereas some other people like might pray to a god, like. There's a lot of flexibility.
Tell me how to open this damn door.
I mean, you'd be surprised. You roll high enough, they're responsive.
Pull the lever, my child. Thank you.
Go find the button.
Speaking of God. Oh God, I just didn't. I was gonna say like, oh yeah, this girl's nice.
Oh,
like,
I love her too.
Actually, I'm like, oh, he's gonna tell me. Okay, I see.
Yeah, that sly daddy of yours.
Dad, I can't open this door.
He's very, very good. He's the best dad.
I think I've got it narrowed down to who it is too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, given your area of knowledge, it's pretty easy to figure it out. I think.
Well, I don't know.
Well, yeah, not your area of knowledge.
See, it's actually not that hard.
I don't even know.
I think your dad is the exact opposite, and I mean, pure opposite, and Dyer would know what I mean by guessing that.
I do.
Yeah. So I think if he's not the pure opposite, then he's the slightly askewed cousin.
To not be to be give you information that you already have. There are four if you look in the gods and goddesses.
I know.
Male,
There's
2 are female.
I know. Oh no, I already know this. That's why I said slightly askewed or direct opposite.
I'm saying it to Ryan, who wasn't sure. It's like there's 2 and 2.
Okay.
So.
But also because I went to go open the drive today to get some names correct, and my phone was like, "There's been a lot of additions to this document. Would you like to update and refresh?" And I was like, inquisitive.
I didn't know you updated it.
What did I update?
The gods and goddesses document.
I did?
Yeah?
I did.
Cool story.
At some point, I think, or somebody did.
I mean, it must have been me. No one else should have edited privileges.
Yeah,
Because you added in the bolded recent bit about a certain
Oh
two.
yeah, that, yeah. I thought it was something else. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, that's been there for a little bit at least.
And then I could have swore you entered in, or you edited or entered in more on the Fae side.
Yeah, I mean, I'm working on that. I actually have a notepad that's much more extensive
Yeah.
now.
I bet.
Updated it.
I hadn't opened that drive on my phone since those changes.
All right, guys, we've got 15 minutes to open this door.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Honestly.
17. Wait, no.
Y'all have
Yes, it was
15 minutes to
17.
open that door. I got 15 minutes to figure out what this tree is.
Do it.
Just a goat staring at a tree screaming. "Meh."
If it gets the job done.
It gets the job done.
Okay. Let's see. As you guys scatter and break up into a group, you bundle yourselves up and exit out into the cold of the blizzard to search the battlements for this identifying mark or stone indentation, something that Mordaheim has informed you will find if you look closely enough. As you guys all sort of take your respective steps out onto the battlements into each section, you begin sort of looking around, sort of pawing, brushing aside frost and snow and mounds of snow that have gathered here, trying to find anything. It is Nikolai on the front side of the fort down yonder on the southern side, near to right above where the entryway to the gate is, that finds the first indention. You had to sweep aside a layer of ice that had gathered, and you had to look a little bit lower than you're used to due to height differences in dwarves and humans. So it's kind of like just at your waist height for where you would want to press. And the stonework is perfectly smooth, but there is a very, very soft outline that you can see of a square indentation. And then when you look at it, the stone, the grain in the stone itself is in fact not part of the natural stone. It is in fact a dwarven rune that is disguised to look like part of the stone as a method for blending it into the wall.
Ooh.
And if you were so inclined as to push it, do you push it?
Yeah. Yes, I do push it.
Do you push it? When you do, everyone, actually no, really no one, because it's this damn blizzard. I will say Kenna, you will be the only person. I'll say Kenna and Edelweiss, you two will notice an abrupt change in the surroundings down south here, as this whole 20-foot wide, 15-foot tall gate just drops down into the ground, and there is now a mouth of a tunnel that you can see on the other side is just blizzarding.
Giraffe. just batters me.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. Wind tunnel.
Oh, a tunnel underneath.
Shoulders go up, head sinks down to fur, shivers.
Are you quite alright?
Oh,
Definitely doesn't hear that.
IDL.
So so was it only the two of us, or was there three of us?
You two notice it.
Mm.
Due to the others' positions, they can't
Okay.
see it, like, physically.
I drop wild shape.
It's a Kenna.
And then I call out real loudly. It worked. I can't scream right now.
Yeah. Make me a Constitution check.
Roger. Saver check.
Check.
Druids don't have this. That's sorcerers.
Yep.
Just kidding. All right. I have a +2. Like everything else in my kit.
Yeah.
14 + 2. 16.
16. I mean, Edelweiss, you can hear this.
Can I?
Gwen, you two can hear this. The others, you cannot.
I call to the others as loud as I can that it worked.
Constitution check. Y'all out in a blizzard.
Chinese whispers in a blizzard.
13.
Yeah, you guys don't hear anything.
Okay.
You yell, get a mouthful of snow.
I'm gonna keep looking for a switch.
Okay.
Or button.
You're more than welcome to make me another investigation check.
Okay.
Well, now that I know I can walk out,
Mhm.
Kenna's going to do what Kenna's going to do. And
Yep.
that would be feeling this newfound strength inside her soul. Thinking back to the cremator, she puts her hand against the bottom where she dug out by that tree.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to make fire.
Okay. And you went straight down to the dirt?
Yep, right where the tree meets the soil.
Okay.
Well, first she would produce flame to see if the tree reacts to heat by the soil. If the bark does anything.
Okay. So you get a little produce flame, you get this globule of fire in your hand, and you slowly approach it to the tree. There's no initial reaction until the fire actually kind of licks the outside of the bark, and you watch as the entire tree shivers.
Shivers?
Yep.
Oh.
I speak in Druidic along the lines of I don't know how serious or sarcastic I wanted to be. Sorry, I stopped myself. Unusual. Are you alive? And I get the flame closer to the bark.
The tree begins to shake more. There is no obvious response.
With produce flame, I control flames to make it twice as big.
Okay. The bark
Keeping my hand in the same place.
The bark begins to burn. Fire begins to slowly catch. And the tree begins to slowly curl inward on itself. The branches begin to get closer. As if you could imagine someone wrapping their arms around themselves from a painful headache.
Okay. I take the fire away, and I put out all flame on the bark.
Okay.
And just snuff it out.
Yep. There's a nice, substantial scorch on the side of the tree.
Does it unfurl?
No. It does not.
Okay.
You heard it.
And I look around to all the others, and then I look to the big one. I wish I had a different language to try and speak to these, but that's okay. Seeing that the big door is open, assuming that they can close it as well. We'll leave it be for now, and I will, shrug with my clothing and then head out from the front door, and walk, or not, yeah, I'll walk through the gate that opened, and make my way back inside to where the horses are.
Okay.
And I want to take them out into the courtyard, tell the people that they opened the doors if they're inside, blah, blah, blah.
Okay. Well, Kenna, you will march back in. Edelweiss, you see Kenna just leave.
Yeah, I assume that she's gone out, so I'll just... I don't think I can safe drop, so yeah, I'll just step back onto the battlements and head inside.
Wise choice.
Or follow her relative path, yeah.
Nikolai, after you've found this switch, what do you do?
So... Could I feel like the gate tremble? Because something that big is not going to go without a little bit of shaking, and I was sort of nearby. Could I feel it? Drop?
Yes, you felt a vibration move through the stone, but it was probably less than you'd anticipated. But there was a reaction to the button.
Well, he can't really see anything in the blizzard, so he's going to go back to the courtyard.
I did not succeed. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I did not succeed in my check to find anything, so I would try to find Nikolai instead and be like, hey, your thing worked.
In which case, because Gwen's over here on the left side, Nikolai would have been in the middle, so if Nikolai's coming out to leave, you could sort of run into each other.
Oh.
Yeah, you must have dropped one of the gates, or at least I heard Kenna say so. Like,
yes,
wasn't able.
Oh, you heard Kenna say so. Yeah, it felt like it when I pressed the button, so.
Yeah,
cool.
I wasn't able to find anything, though. I don't know if you can be able to look around here.
Can I?
You can make another investigation check. Lars, make a second one for me as well.
Can I help?
Didn't matter.
Oh,
Did
get
not
out.
matter.
Stay on the bloody... 11.
Can I look?
You can make a check, yeah.
Nine. 9!
Nope.
9!
You guys spend a bit more time out in this very uncomfortable weather, and are find nothing.
I think Lars is just gonna go around and just say to Nikolai, "Can we do this when it's better weather? Please, it's too cold and I can't see anything."
Neither can I. I did find one, and I'll sort of describe what it looked like to him.
Mm-hmm.
As y'all are yelling at each other outside.
Yeah, Kenna's just making trips back and forth, getting horses too, by the way. You guys just sort of wander back in, like, brushing off all the snow, trying to warm up into the fire, and just, like, suddenly you notice the horses are gone.
Well, if I
Great,
did
lots of horses!
I would go...
If I did open up the gate, I'm assuming Kenna moved them.
Yeah,
if what Gwen said is true.
I would go to, like, just check and make sure that they were settled and
Well,
out of the elements at all.
You would just see... Sorry, Kenna took all the horses out and is having them eat and then is bringing them back inside because they would not survive outside.
No, they wouldn't.
Good on you, bud.
So she's like taking the horses, just talking to them, taking Gwen's, assuming that it's more stubborn than the others because it's Gwen's. Just going, no, there's food. Come eat this grass and then go back inside. Just like trying to... and then just gets them to eat and then takes them back inside where it's out of the weather.
Like, rider, like horse.
Should have gotten Portia's help.
That Dog gonna get kicked.
Yeah, Posh has been by the fire. She lazy.
She's good at hurting.
Dog gonna get kicked.
She's currently off duty.
Just kidding. But
Over soon.
How much grass is about how much surface area is out there? Or I guess I could ask Kenna.
it's all covered in snow. I had them just eat the tops of the shoots.
Mm.
We'll have to wait for the blizzard to finish to actually uncover things.
We should be able to
So-
call around for it once the weather gets better. Thank you.
Yeah. We'll just let the snow compile all that it can, or if we could maybe shut that door since we know how to open it, or since one of you opened it.
He'll upon hearing that go, I'll go shut it. He'll go
Well,
back, press the button again.
Now that they've had some food, we can wait, let all of this weather blow over, and then clear the snow out. I can attend to things, and we can get the horses fed.
Hmm.
Excellent.
Well,
We don't have to eat the horses.
Well,
Yes.
that was an eventful break. Are we ready to get back to digging?
Yes. I could
Back-
use to warm up again.
Yes. Please.
It's a,
I have nothing
However-
else to do, so.
however,
Try not to
Dyer
get-
ends the scene, starts heading back to the tools.
Don't work out too much. It's still rather cold, and you get sweaty.
Well, if you recall, working in the tunnel, it was actually a bit warm.
Yeah, but when you get out,
Yeah.
No, again,
No.
you perhaps warn that to everybody except Kenna. Kenna's actually pretty well. You guys don't know this exactly, but Kenna's very well equipped for this particular type of weather and scenario. Got that good heritage.
It's good heritage. The only environment she's useful in.
oh,
And we'll be here forever.
9 sessions in.
We're going to live at this place.
We're just now starting to do something maybe plot related.
Maybe.
I've been.
We're certainly
I've
going to
been
find out next week.
trying. I've been trying for the last,
Getting
3
yourself killed is
sessions.
not plot related.
All right. So,
Yep.
yes, we will head back to digging for the second half of our day.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy, is this the same kind of cliffhanging episode as TV has.
Woo! That being said, since you guys are just going to spend more or less the rest of the day digging since it's blizzarding, how about everybody give me the same round of skill checks that we had earlier during our excavation.
Wilderness tools for digging.
Yeah.
You know what? Because Nikolai's not gonna really be able to do anything with his last side point, he's gonna cast Future Insight on himself, which is there if you want, and then he's just gonna roll the dice with this because why not?
Sure.
3d4, so 3d4. 1, 2, 3. Woo!
All right, I'm gonna actually, I'm gonna go ahead and use an inspiration point because why not? I have
Yeah.
2 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
same.
guys, since you guys do
Okay.
meta homework, you
Roll.
get 2 every week.
So roll
I'm leaving
advantage.
you too.
Yep.
Yeah. Ditto.
I mean, I've already rolled, so
What'd you get?
I got a. Sorry, wait. I rolled another 9 plus 5.
Oh!
All right. For
Oh
the
my
record,
God.
Ryan, you're allowed to see your result and then decide to spend it. That is actually how the feature works.
Oh.
Roll that. I'm gonna throw that inspiration point. I'm gonna roll again.
Go for it.
Can I?
There we
can I
go.
do that? Can I
It
do that
didn't
with my
matter if it
natural?
was a 6.
Can I do that? Can I do that with my natural 20?
No.
Or...
Because you've already seen what it is. Absolutely not.
Okay. Fair enough.
That is not how that. Yeah, you would roll another d20, sir.
I got
Uh,
a natural
I know.
So what's your total, Gwen?
25.
Very
Natural
nice.
20 plus 5.
Nice.
Money.
don't have any, though.
I'm sending it to Dyer, but that also is a natural 20 plus 4 for 24.
Yo, we are actually done decent, so we are wonderful today.
That
Absolutely
was
wonderful.
the advantage roll was the 20. My first roll was a 2.
Oh.
Diggy diggy hole.
Wow.
Right,
Yeah.
so
y'all
my,
just-
my two totals were, so what I rolled, so it's 11 and 14 I rolled. 11 and 14 is my advantage roll.
That's not too bad. That's me. So.
It's not 'cause I
14
rolled
plus.
9.
Is it 14 total or 14 plus stuff?
It's 14 total.
Okay.
Still not bad. And again, let's be honest. With 3 natural 20s, you guys get 2 successes per crit success, and so the other ones,
2, 4, 6,
like
7.
you guys you guys are fine. And we will next week. I will provide with you, what you guys have managed to uncover with several hours of digging. And maybe what you happen to unearth underneath the fort, and I get to show you that sweet map I spent all day working on today.
Hell yeah.
I thought so.
Yeah.
We had to take a break to save the horse's dire. It was important.
No, it was important. It was a
no.
good question because you guys,
We also made a kind of a discovery.
yeah, we'll talk about that in a second.
There's a bunch
So
of dead people in this fort.
Hold on.
yeah,
Yeah.
so that's the last thing we'll be doing. I will follow up with it at the beginning of next session. And so that's pretty much where we're going to end tonight. So thank you, all of you guys, for coming out and playing and participating and getting some smart things and good decisions done. And remember to always buy feed for your horses in the future, lest you have to eat them. That's just
We
not
had
fun.
some for some
Ain't the
reason.
Donner
I
Party.
really did. I really thought we had some.
You made the mistake in assuming the NPC did all the right work.
Oh
Yeah.
no, but I really thought I did see it.
All right.
wow.
One's about to have
Alright, let's
buy your own
close
bag
it.
of holding just for.
Close it out.
Anyway.
Close it out.
We will see everyone next week around the same time. Until then,
Peace.
stay frosty.
So